Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what's going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Elk Grove, Illinois, when a family is viciously slaughtered in their own home, the ridiculous theories start to add up, but the answer was right before everybody the entire time. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, Jimmie coming in hot with the yay. Yay, indeed, Jimmie. Yay, indeed. I wasn't even done yet. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. Bullseye.
I'm so hungry.
It's good stuff, man. You just ate a bagel.
I'm always hungry.
There you go. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy, insane edition of Small Town Murder. And this one, oh, man, this is a show that we did for a live show at some live shows this year. And it is just, this story is crazy. It's just crazy. I can't wait to get into it. Quickly, before we get into that, I want to thank everybody for what you do for us. Whatever app you're listening on, leave a review for us. It helps a lot. 5 stars. Say something nice. It helps the show out a little bit. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. First of all, keep your eye open for tickets for next year's 2023 shows are coming out. But also, you can, if you're listening right when this comes out, you can still get into the virtual live show. It came out October 27th. It's available for a week after that. So if you're listening in that week, you can still do it. Get that at shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, patreon.com/crime and sports. That's where you get all the bonus stuff. everything. We're talking the whole back catalog, the whole thing. We got over like 150 episodes of that, shitloads to binge. And then every other week, you're going to get 2 new episodes, one crime and sports, one small town murder, all for the low, low price of $5 or more. It's a cup of coffee. Can't beat it. This week, what you're going to get is for crime and sports, which you'll have access to. We're going to talk about Len Bias. If you don't know who he is, number 1 overall NBA draft pick in 1986 was supposed to be. He had the same amount of like pub as like LeBron, as Michael Jordan, as like he was going to be the next big. Kobe had no pub coming out.
There was nothing?
Kobe was a high school kid.
You know what?
Most scouts thought he was a joke.
That's a
when
great
he came
point.
out.
But when I was in high school, Mike Bibby was there, and so it was the two of them competing against each other for who was going to be like the college star. Mike went to college, and then Kobe went and did what Kobe was.
Yeah. So there you go. So we're gonna. But instead, what if on the day they got drafted? That night, they went out and did a bunch of coke and had a heart attack because that's what happened to Len Bias, and he died. It's insane, this story. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about the difference between Netflix Dahmer story and actual Jeffrey Dahmer story, things that happened, characters they mashed together and made into one, things that were just fabricated completely.
Things that happened, things that didn't.
We'll get into the whole thing because it's done so well cinematically that can almost become the record at this point. So we need to clear that.
In a minute.
Put that right down. We need to squash that rebellion in the making. So that said, that's patreon.com/crime and sports. That said, it's time for the disclaimer. This is a comedy show. It is. We're comedians. There's going to be jokes in here. People will die. It has to. Otherwise, the name would be false advertising.
It'd be bullshit.
It would be a complete load of shit. So the people will die. But what we do here is there's plenty of stuff to joke about. You got small towns to make fun of. We're all from somewhere crappy. Well, who cares about that? You got murderers to make fun of, obviously. There's some bumbling police force that doesn't lets a murderer go for 10 years. That's always fun to make fun of. But what we don't do, what we go out of our way not to do, is we never make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that, Jake?
Because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
There you have it.
There you go. So if that sounds good to you, you are in for quite the tale. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, this might not be for you, but it might be.
Maybe.
That's what I mean. Give it a chance, and if you don't like it, no bitching afterwards. How's that? We warned you, so there you go.
Goodbye.
That said, everybody, so I think it's time to sit back. We say we clear the lungs and shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip.
We should.
Shall we? We are going all the way to Illinois.
Hell yeah.
Here we go to Illinois. This is Elk Grove, Illinois.
Oh, it's lovely.
Absolutely. It's in northeastern Illinois. It's 30 minutes outside of Chicago. It's a suburb of Chicago. So you can live here and, work in the city sort of thing here. Closer than O'Hare. So that's close. It's about an hour 20 to Milwaukee and about 2.5 hours to Morton, Illinois, which is our last Illinois ep. That was episode 293. By the way, this is the 300th regular episode of Small Town Murder. We have another like 30 with the expresses, but this is the 300th regular episode. So thanks for everybody who's been sticking with us. And if you've been here for the whole 300, we appreciate hanging with us for the journey. And there'll be 300 more. We can guarantee you that. So we're going to keep doing it. This particular town, Elk Grove, is in both Cook and DuPage counties.
2 of them.
2 counties here. It's about 11 square miles. It's a lot of strip malls. It doesn't look like there's a building over 2 stories in the entire place. Every place looks like a J.C. Penney that went out of business like
straight suburb
8 years ago. Total suburb here. The motto here, though, the exceptional community. So,
there's that.
Exceptional. And it's right on the sign, which the sign is all fucked up and needs a paint job. So if you're going to claim exceptionalness, you should probably paint your sign.
You can't say it without that being exceptional.
That's the
thing.
The
way
you
say it matters.
It would help.
Say it with your chest.
Just say it. I don't care. Christ, at least put it on a painted sign. You piece of shit sign. Look how perfect we are. No, you're not.
Name on it.
Yeah.
It looks like garbage.
Good God. Complaining about your neighbors while your roof is falling in. What's wrong with you?
People in Chicago, they say, do you live in Chicago or do you live in the suburbs? Because that's like a common thing that people ask.
And in New York, it's you live in the city or
outward. Right. But this is like what they mean by do you live in the suburbs? Because it's like it's 30 minutes away. It's not, you're barely in Chicago. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing.
It's definitely another world.
Yeah.
It's nothing like Chicago at all. It's like, But in New York, it's weird because when they say, do you live in the city, they specifically mean the island of Manhattan. No, I'm not kidding. Brooklyn's not the city.
The Bronx.
In New
No,
York.
that's not the city.
No, it's not. In New York, that's not the city is the
Just
island
that little
of Manhattan.
bit.
Yeah. People in Brooklyn will say, I'm going into the city. That means I'm going to Manhattan.
You got to live
That's how it
between World Trade and Central Park, or you're not there.
a
little north of there?
No, we give you the whole Harlem is still the city and all that. That's
All
still
right.
the city, technically, but the island of Manhattan is where it's
That's
at.
crazy.
Otherwise, it's not
That's
that.
crazy. There's so many boroughs. There's so many places to be.
So this place originally had Potawatomi tribe was here originally in Elk Grove, and they were, quote, relocated in the 1830s. That was under Andrew Jackson, as you might know.
Sure,
there
got him a nice moving truck.
So, Kansas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma too. So let's. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus!
Hey, you guys like fields? How do you feel about just fields? Not so much lakes.
Yeah.
Like no. Just a field. Do you like to be able to see? Let's say you have a relative and they live, say, 12 to 14 miles away. You want to be able to still see them and wave to them? Because I got a place for you. You're going to love it.
I know there's a very large natural body of water real close that you utilize probably. We would like to give you one without
Without that at all. Love it. You're going to like it. Love it. You're going to tolerate it and be angry for hundreds of years with righteous indignation.
You know, here's the thing about this land is that if anybody wants to kick you off of it, you'll see them coming.
Yeah, you'll
from a long way.
You'll have a lot of time to pack up or mount a defense.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Create the weapons, whatever you need.
So this area was settled by white people here in New England, people from New England, farmers from New England came here. That was the original people. The Elk Grove town itself wasn't incorporated until 1956 because it is a planned suburban community.
This was the whole idea in the first place.
We're going to build, we need a place for people to go. The majority of the houses and everything around here was built in the 50s by the Centex Corporation, which sounds like it makes chemicals that poison the groundwater. Somewhere there's sick little kids and it's a Centex is probably allegedly responsible for it.
Somewhere a $3 million class action check was signed for everybody to get $4.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. 40 years after it happened, it's like Camp Lejeune again. If you watch anything, streaming or anything else, you'll be inundated with these Camp Lejeune commercials. Were you at this point? I think I might have been there. I wasn't even born yet, but I think I might have been in the Marines at Camp Lejeune at some point because these commercials are telling me that.
Was your family base there for blah, 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 blah?
I think I might have drank the water, sure. If you don't know what we're talking about, I apologize. But if you watch anything streaming, these are the constant commercials streaming. So
I think they piped that water into the whole country is what it is.
That's probably what it is.
We're all Camp Lejeuners.
We're all Lejeuniers, as we're called, around with each other.
Yeah.
Lejeuniers.
That's the people that swirl the water in the glass and go, this has a lot of zinc and, I think that's lead.
You let the sediment sink to the bottom of the glass. It helps, too. That's nice. So that's the type of place this is.
Great.
Original planning concept. They forgot at first, by the way, to separate the industrial and the residential areas. So there was like factories next to houses. That didn't work, so they moved some stuff around.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's one of the largest industrial parks in the United States is in Elk Grove. So
largest industrial
park. Which is not, there's no swing sets there, I promise you. There is not a seesaw for miles around that
Those words don't go together.
No,
where's the sandbox?
No.
Don't get in that.
No, that's a silt box, we call that. That's just, it's runoff, things, extra parts.
There's a screen underneath there, and we filter.
You should see what's under there. Wow. So it became a lot of farmers were here at first. A lot of like German immigrants came here, and a lot of the streets are named for the farmers. There's actual elk here too, as well.
Is that right?
In Elk Grove, it's these woods area where they stock elk like trout.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
I've never heard of that.
The rainbows are pooling up over on that side of the forest. Look at them.
They're all brown elk. You know how we know? Because they're brown.
They're pretty brown. So this is also the place that the bears threaten to move to all the time.
Oh, okay.
The bears, whenever the Chicago's pissing them off, off and they need a renovation of Soldier Field, they'll go, we'll move to Elk Grove.
Don't make us do that to Brian Urlacher.
Don't make us make everyone miserable where they have to go to Elk Grove every goddamn week.
Don't make us poison Brian Urlacher's children.
No shit. So if you're a true crime aficionado and Elk Grove Village sounds familiar to you, it might be from the 1982. Everybody knew where this place was, apparently, because it was the center of the Chicago Tylenol murders case, which was a big famous case where a 12-year-old girl named Mary Kellerman died after taking Tylenol, and they found out that it was laced with potassium cyanide. Wow. Not good. And
On
it was
purpose.
Yeah, it was somebody tampering with the Tylenol. So if you can't open a bottle, you can blame this place. If you have trouble opening a pill bottle, this is why.
That's a fascinating way of saying murdered children.
Murdered children.
Yeah.
This is how they did it.
Wow.
So, yeah, this was from here. It led to the tamper-proof, all that kind of shit. So, and tamper-evident stuff where, the seal on the top that you have to poke your finger through. Yeah. But at least you know that no one has put any cyanide in your Tylenol.
Whatever that glue is that keeps that shit on.
Oh, you just got to poke it with your finger. You can't try to peel it off.
Oh, I always have the tin ring around the top. Yeah. I'm not getting that shit off.
Push it around. There we go. Done. I've never peeled one of those off in my life. Poof. Jam my finger in there. There we go. Advil comes out.
Put your finger
perfect.
in and spin the bottle. That's how it stays. Fuck it. I'm not.
Done and
never
done.
Get it off.
Nope.
Whatever it is amazing.
Fucking so this. It is. That's the best glue ever. They used to keep space shuttles together when they re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. So the 90s and 2000s, they embarked on a beautification redevelopment program here, which included, it ended up, there was supposed to be this big giant thing, and they ended up putting in just like a 25-foot tall clock tower that's just pretty plain looking. And doesn't look like it's much of a draw. Nobody looks at it.
Everything that was wrong, it's now all together.
That's it. Reviews of this town. Oh boy, my favorite. Here we go. Let's start out with a couple of 5 stars.
Okay.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Here we go. I like that everyone always comes together to make the community better.
Your therapist tell you not to say that.
No, you're never supposed to say always. Everyone and always. That's like a double negative. It's a double positive. It's too much. Stop using double positives. What's wrong with you? Everyone always and better are
we
all
don't
the same
believe
word. I'm full of shit. This person's running for mayor. Fuck you. There are always events to bring people together. Always, every day.
Well, you better stop writing and get to one.
So if I'm bored at 3 a.m, there's an event where I can bring people together. Everyone that lives here.
Damn it,
all
man.
of them. There's not 100 people here. You don't know everyone. Everyone that lives here is so genuine, kind, and willing to help out their neighbors.
All of them.
Every single person, Jimmy. To a lot. No child molesters.
Yeah.
Nobody having like a different kind of agenda, none of that shit at all. Just done.
Everybody's got the same interest, and we do the same shit together.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we say. And then at the end of the day, we hold hands and sing songs, the whole town. So here's another 5-star here. This one, it's a little weird, though. 5 stars. You'll get the vibe here. I have lived here for 40-plus years, and the exceptional village lives up to its motto.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good start for 5 stars. Schools and churches are well represented in the area. Okay. We've raised 3 children in the village, and they have, 2 of them still reside in the village.
That's amazing.
What happened to that third child? Tell us. There was a lot more to this, and he just deleted. 2 of them.
That might be too much.
Yeah. Well, he was like, the other one, every year we have to go down and say that, we think that he's a better kind of kid now, and he's going to turn his life around. He's learned his lesson, and they haven't listened to us yet, but we're hoping this year's the year, and then he's going to have to tell everybody who he is door to door, send out some flyers as well. There was an incident, but
Delete.
We think Ryan is doing better now. Hold on. Delete. Well,
you know what? You don't understand.
2 of them.
She looked 16. That sounds worse.
Shit. All right. That's worse. Damn it. He was 31, so that's worse. Okay, never mind.
Back in the 80s, one of them had a headache, and we gave him some time. Never mind. Delete.
Well, 2 of them still reside at the village. Wow. Here is 3 stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Elk Grove Village is a good, safe place to live. There are great schools, elementary to high school.
Yeah.
There's lots of nearby things to do, such as the Woodfield Mall. Ooh. And about a 30-minute drive from downtown Chicago. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's not mention the mall.
Right. And what year are you in?
Yeah.
No, kids don't even go to the mall now.
No, why
That's
would
not a
they?
place.
Why would they? They're like, I don't want to go get diddled there. That's all they see it as, a place to get diddled.
There's too much walking there.
I got to walk, and if I'm looking down at something, I'll totally run into somebody, and I did that before, and I broke my fucking DS, and it was totally messed up.
Coccyx.
Not cool. So crime rate is basically non-existent or zero. We'll let you know about that. Keep your statistics to yourself.
Yeah.
I got some stats. Houses are good prices for a small single-family home.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it is. There's no mansions not a lot of mansions in Elk Grove. It's a middle-class suburb here. 3 stars. This is a shithead teenager, I believe here. This is the kid who won't go to the mall. There is not much to do for teens. There's some places to eat, but apart from that, you can only drive around and look for things to do. You have a car?
Right.
Great.
Get driving, son.
Half hour to Chicago and you have a car? Use your fucking imagination. Ever seen Adventures in Babysitting? Get out there, motherfucker.
That was a pretty good night.
Pedal to the metal. Half a pack of cigarettes and a full tank of gas. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Have you ever seen a movie? Get out there. Pussies.
Create your own adventure.
No shit. Jesus Christ. I would recommend Elk Grove for people on a low income trying to get by.
No, the judgment.
You have no income. You're a teenager. Shut the fuck up. How about that?
You're on your parents' insurance, you son of a bitch.
Jesus Christ, you little bastard. This one here, this person, Vicky needs a hug. This person is Vicky, and she needs a hug bad. The heading of it is Elk Grove, and then from there on, this is all capital letters, is not the exceptional village. Wow.
Tell me more, Vicky.
Then she goes to 0 stars, by the way. That's a very short review. I wish we never moved here, ... I want this backstory more than I want.
Yeah, where's your kid? Fuck you, kid.
Fuck that.
Vicky's got the stage.
Vicky, what happened? Are you all right, Vicky? Is everything cool?
Tell us slowly.
Wow, Vixter. It's a shit, man.
I wonder where she is now.
Oh, I don't know. This review is from 2012.
Oh,
so
it's been a minute.
God knows what's happened to her since then.
A whole decade of possible bad luck.
I mean, shit, if she was doing that bad then.
Yeah.
People in this town, 31,831.
That's a lot.
It's down 8% since 2000. It's kind of gone down. Median age is 43. It's a little older than normal, but pretty normal. A couple more females than males, which is normal. More married people than usual here, 55% married. Same divorce rate as average, lower widow rates. It's just people move here when they have kids, when they start to become scared of the city. They move here, so their kids have a yard. Race of this town, 75.2% white, 1% black.
Wow.
Which I don't know if anybody out there has ever been to Chicago.
Yeah.
Couple of black people.
1 or 2.
A few black people. To be the half hour away and have 1% black people, that sounds like there's is there a booth or something you have to pass through? Is there a checkpoint? What's going on? That seems very low. 11.2% Asian, which seems high for a suburb of Chicago.
In comparison to black people, too.
That's strange.
That's wild.
10.8% Hispanic, so there's some diversity for a small town. 60% of the people here are religious, though.
Is that right?
And it is 38.7% Catholic.
Heavy.
So it is heavy Catholic. That's a very Chicago thing there. As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the Midwest, I suppose.
Of the Great Lakes region.
1.1% Jewish.
Hey!
Holy shit. Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila. I don't know the words. Hey! All right. In Cook County last year, 'cause it's mostly in Cook County, and the politics-wise, 74.2% of the people voted Democratic, 24% Republican, 1.8% Independent. That includes Chicago, that thing there. Unemployment rate's about the same as the rest of the country. Household income a little bit higher, $73,214 is the median household income. About $20,000 higher. A lot of people make $100,000 in this area, but not much more than that. So it's a middle class.
There's a ceiling.
There's a ceiling, yeah. So that's the way that works. Cost of living in this town, $108 out of 100.
Not bad.
Not too bad. Median home cost $312,200, which is not bad for it's only a little higher than the national average. Not too terrible. So if we've convinced you, damn it, Elk Grove, maybe the Bears will be there someday and drive up the 1% black population in the.
They're going to explode.
They'll blow it all up. We have for you the Elk Grove, Illinois Real Estate Report. The average two-bedroom rental here is $1,335, which is a little above the national average, but not too bad. I have here the first house, two-bedroom, two-bath, 1,000 square feet. It's like a condo, it looks like.
It's a little guy,
like a duplex kind of a house type of deal. It's not great.
No.
It's not terrible.
Okay.
It's a place where it looks like if it was a rental, you'd be like, this is worth my freedom. You know what I mean? Like, I'll stay here for a while. Yeah, the kid has their own room, and you know what? We'll make it our own, and it's going to be okay. It's one of those type of places. But not too bad. $185,900.
That's pretty decent.
It's a decent price, and it's a decent, clean place. Like I said, it's not bad. House number 2 is pretty nice. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,521 square feet. Nice green lawn, nice curb appeal. It just looks like a real nice middle-class house, like a Wonder Years type house, that sort of thing. Very nice. First, the listing, the real estate listing, first word in it, all caps, all capital letters, 3 exclamation points. Wow! Calm down.
There it is.
It's just a nice house. 1,500 square feet, $354,900 for it.
Wow.
3-bedroom, 2-bath. So not terrible.
That's a big mortgage, right?
That's pretty big, I guess. Yeah, it would seem.
I guess that's the average in America, is what you've said before. But it seems
expensive.
That's expensive, right?
Sounds expensive. It's a lot of money.
It's got to be $3,000 a month, right?
I would think, depending on your down payment. Yeah, I don't know. Let's
God.
Mortgage math with James and Jimmie.
That's how broke I've always been my whole life. I hear a dollar figure and I try to quantify what is that a month.
Yeah, what could
that seems
be?
Like a lot.
How do they afford that? 6-bedroom, 5-bath, 6,400 square feet here. This is a nice house. It's renovated. I don't know, man. It's got no soul, I feel like. It's got like 4 front doors, which is kind of weird. It's a weird house. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. There's a lot of wrought iron in it and shit. It's whatever it is. $675,000, though, which 6,400 square feet is a big house.
It's a big one.
It's about as big as you're going to find here. Things to do here. Holy Jesus. The Elk Grove Rotary Fest.
Yeah.
Oh,
they are again.
They're going to have music and fireworks. The Rob Post Band.
Yeah.
Featuring Jim Cunningham.
What happened to Rob?
I don't care. If I don't know who either of you are, it doesn't matter whose band and who's featuring. Just these fucking guys you've never heard of.
7 more people know Cunningham. He's the front man.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're high energy group that plays classic rock music with a mix of current favorite song selections. I doubt there's many current ones in there, including Cheap Trick, Aerosmith, Clapton, Tom Petty. A bunch of people who are dead already.
Yeah, dead or haven't had a hit in 20 years.
Bob Seger, the Monkees. The Monkees you throw in there?
There's only one now.
Do Like a Rock and then Last Train to fucking, what are we talking about?
There's only one monkey left.
The Beatles, the Stones, and the Ramones. What? The Ramones in there?
Current hits, James. The current hits, obviously.
Jesus. Wedding Band, BANNED.
Oh, boy.
They look really annoying, too. They voted the best party/dance band in Chicago.
Yeah, because we can't play weddings anymore. We've been banned.
We've been banned.
So now we only do parties.
Seventh Heaven, which we've had in multiple festivals. We've heard of this guy. Yes, we have here. They are Chicagoland's #1 festival band.
#1.
The band has set attendance records at major nightclubs across the tri-state region.
Oh.
Well, then, we could say that, too. Take that.
I'll bet I've had a bigger crowd than you guys.
Probably. Unless it's at a fair.
Right.
People are there, just for fried dough, and then they look at you while they
show
eat
up for you.
No. Heart to Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Legendary women, legendary music.
Yeah.
Primarily featuring the music of Heart. We get that. We get it. Thanks.
You got the name of the band and their hit, so I'll bet you're right.
I love it. I bet you're going to play Magic Man.
Yeah.
I bet I could guess your set list right now.
That's Pat Benatar, right?
What?
Was she in that?
No, fuck no. Those are Wilson sisters.
That's it.
Yeah. They're badass, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking badass.
Pat Benatar was not in that band.
No.
Okay.
God, no. No, it's the Wilsons there. The guitar player
It's
rocks,
just two
man.
chicks?
And a couple other
and then
people.
some people
a
playing
couple other
some other
dudes.
shit.
Yeah. The dude playing the bass,
Yeah.
the dude playing the
Yeah.
drums, and her ripping guitar and fucking badass singing.
I'll bet I have vinyl of them. I'm going to bring it
great,
for you.
man. Heart's fucking
I'm gonna
awesome.
bring it. I'm going to bring it home for you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. This, by the way, costs $25 to get into this.
To see that
To
shit?
see that pile of shit.
Our ticket's cheaper.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I don't know if they're cheaper than that
Well,
now.
our virtual live show
Our virtual live show's cheaper. Yeah. Don't go to this. Come to that. You can watch that 10 times. You don't want to watch Seventh Heaven 10 times. Crime rate in this town. That other person thought they had zero, non-existent. Actually, property crime, a bit high.
Oh.
10, 15%.
You lying bastards.
Lying motherfuckers. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime. Yeah. Also, this is actually low. This is about 1/3 of the national average. So they'll steal your shit, but no one's going to...
So much for non-existent.
Going to murder you. It's not non-existent, you fucking liars.
Tick the boxes.
He's a fucking liars. That's all he is. I'll tell you what. The New Jersey person got pissed off at it. Use his fucking liars. I'll tell you right now. Uses all liars. 1976 we're going to go to because we need to talk about a murder. Jimmie.
76.
Let's do this. Let's talk about a murder. And to do that, going back to 76, there's certain times in history that are the most creepy murdery.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper times.
Yeah.
The dense, foggy or smoky, whatever the fuck it was, streets in London and, in the dark and all that. You got certain eras, but nothing like the 1970s.
It's really good.
Oh, it's good shit. And this, we're going to go to 76, right in the heart of it.
Blood drenched. You couldn't find out anything about anything.
No, there's no DNA. There's no cameras anywhere. People are killing people left and right. They're like, we don't know who's doing it.
It's just a bloodbath around
They just keep killing. So 76 here. Wow. Let's get right into this here. May 7th, 1976.
Okay.
Let's pop into this day. And we're going to climb inside a Chicago police car. Now, why the fuck are we talking about Chicago when it's Elk Grove?
Right.
You'll find out.
Okay.
It all connects. Don't worry. Don't worry. So this day, there's two cops in a car. It's Joe Giuliano and Eddie Kozlowski.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the 70s, it was a departmental rule that they had to have one Guinea and one Polak in each car. Let's go, Giuliano. Where's another Polak? We put there's so many of them there. Kozlowski, there you are. Okay, good. Get in the car with Giuliano. No, there's one Guinea and one Polak. It's department regulations. Ah, Christ.
The union said.
A bunch of Puerto Ricans just joined the force. What the hell are we going to do with them now? I don't know. I guess put them with a Polak, too? I got one Polak and one... Yeah, well, we got a Puerto Rican and a Polak, and then we got the, I don't know, we'll throw an Italian in there once in a while, and that's how we're going to do it.
That's all we've got on this force.
Hey, there's a real nice guy you should meet. His name's John Gacy. You should go to his house. It's a lot of fun. That guy's a good shit, I'll tell you what.
Sweet guy.
Sweet guy, construction, if you pull him over, let him out of a ticket, though, because, he drives real fast. Drives fast like that.
Swerves all over the road.
Hey, that's what's going on. So these two,
he's gonna pull that corporate card out.
He's gonna pull.
He's gonna show you that little pass that we hand out to all the good guys.
Remodeled my basement. Good job. I tell you, good job. Brought a couple of young guys over. Next time I seen him, I didn't see them young guys. I don't know what happened to them, but he's a good guy. I tell you, a real nice guy.
Put in a new sump pump down there.
He's good at magic. He's good. So these two get a call to investigate a suspicious automobile.
Yeah.
Which, it's Chicago in the 70s. There's probably a lot of suspicious automobiles. But it's parked at 140 South Whipple on the west side of the city. Mm-hmm. So they park behind the car. It's a maroon 1972 Thunderbird. License plate EG5322. Mm-hmm. Right front window broken out, ignition pulled. So clearly a stolen car, obviously. Yeah. So they said apparently the 72 Thunderbird is one of the easiest cars to steal in the history of car theft. Yeah, apparently it had a very easy ignition to yank. And
fascinating.
You could do it very easy without keys.
Yeah,
you could just do
you don't need it with a screwdriver, nothing. You just pull it out and probably when they pull those, then is there like a little? Do you know what I mean? Is there? Never mind.
They used a lock pull. It's called.
Okay.
I think you click it on, and when you pull it out, you kind of have control over the whole ignition mechanism. And I think then
so you can just twist it.
You can turn the whole thing over without the key being on the inside.
So you don't have to like pull it out and then touch wires.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think it just can. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't stolen a lot of cars in the 1970s, considering this is before I was born. But still,
there's a lot of 90s cars.
Yeah, I don't know how that
those
works.
are super easy. So how fucking easy must this have been?
Oh God, yeah. And the 72 Thunderbird's an ugly piece of shit too. So maybe that was the defense against it being stolen. We'll make it really ugly. It's easy to steal, but it's hideous. No one wants it.
You guys, we got an ignition problem. You just twist it and it starts. That's okay.
But no one wants it.
Nobody cares.
We can't even sell these
things.
Look at it. Outside of rental cars, we can't get rid of them. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So they said the interior of the car littered with broken glass. Yeah. They said hubcaps were missing and the trunk is locked.
Oh.
So they're like, oh boy, what's in the trunk now? They're worried about that. They open the trunk. No, nothing there. No body or anything. Okay. So that's good. That's helpful. They find on the car an Elk Grove Village tax stamp on the windshield.
Yeah.
And so they get that. They get the VIN. This cop radios the VIN into the I guess, station, dispatch or the station or whatever. They said the car had not been reported stolen yet. Obviously, something's happened to it. They run the registration. They find out the car belongs to somebody from Elk Grove Village.
Right.
It's a guy named Frank Colombo.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's going to be so mad.
Frank fucking Colombo is going to be upset about this. He lives at 55 Brantwood in Elk Grove Village. So the crazy part is dispatch doesn't go, okay, cool, we'll get a hold of him. Dispatch goes, you got a pen? Here's his number.
What?
Call this guy up and have him come get his car. I don't know how busy they are down at the station, but they probably have easier access to a phone than some cop on the street. You know,
probably got less shit to do than this guy.
So this guy, Joe Giuliano, he's like, I know how to talk to Frank Colombo. Don't you worry about it. Kozlowski, now he'll hang right up on you. Don't worry. I know how to talk to this guy.
Well, I got it.
I got it. All right. So tries to call him up. He calls up 3 different times. No answer every time.
At a payphone or something. You know what I mean? That's the crazy part.
Yeah, there's no cell phone. There's no car phone.
Joe, you got a quarter? Call this motherfucker.
Yeah.
What?
At least he gets his quarter back. No answering machines back then or voicemail or anything. So finally, toward the end of the shift, they call up the dispatch. They're like, I can't fucking find this guy, and I'm going home. So the department then does what they should have done in the first place and call the Elk Grove Police Department and say, hey, you want to go over and tell this guy whatever, since you probably have less to do than us?
He's probably down the block. We're 30 minutes away.
You know how it goes. So they send a uniformed guy driving the old black and white patrol car. He goes over to 55 Brantwood and everything like that. Gets out of his patrol car, and he's walking up the driveway to the porch. And there's like a little walkway. There's a driveway and then a little walkway with nice bushes on the side of it that leads up to the front door. Very nice. Very nice.
Love that.
Love a shrub.
Yeah.
Love a shrub.
Shrubs are the best.
It's a nice suburban house. It's kind of like house number 2 in the real estate report. It's very similar to that.
Wow.
Just a wow.
It's got a wow factor.
Whoa. Look at that.
There it is.
3 bedrooms, 1 story. Holy shit, I just came in my pants. What the fuck's going on?
Fuck, it's hot.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Somebody hit me with a fucking taser, because I am going to I'm going to fuck this house. I swear to God, I'm going to climb up on the roof and fuck the chimney.
My dick is so hard, somebody tase me.
I need voltage flowing through me. It's the only thing that's going to calm it down. Wow.
Tase me, bro.
Tase me.
That was a left turn.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, God. So
I think I'd rather come than be hit with a tase.
Probably. What if you're trying to control yourself?
At that point, you'd be like, somebody jerk me off.
Yeah, it's probably better than being tased. Somebody blow me or tase me. I don't know which. Whichever you prefer.
Tase me, shoot me in the foot, or jerk me off.
Something. I don't know which one. Just whatever you got to do. So as he's walking up to the place, he sees a couple of things that are a little suspicious, this officer, that there's too much mail sticking out of the mailbox. It's stuffed in there, too much. Also, down in front of the door are 3 issues of the Elk Grove Herald newspaper. Yeah. Consecutive days, including today's.
Oh, boy.
So he's like, okay, that's odd. Well, maybe they're on vacation. That's why that would make sense that their car would be stolen and they wouldn't know about it, because maybe they're away. But then he hears a dog crying and sees that the door is cracked open. Now, there's a storm door. If you're from somewhere warm, you don't know what that is. But you know what a screen door is. Imagine a window in that.
Okay.
That's a storm door that is in front of the regular door.
Right.
So the storm door is closed, but that's a window, so you can see that the door is cracked open, and there's a poodle in there.
I'm going home.
I know you don't like poodles.
No.
So here we go.
How do you hug? How do you love it?
There's a poodle in here.
Yeah. I can't do it, guys. I'm going home.
Guys, I know I'm here to stop crime, and I found dead bodies, and I've done terrible. I've seen a lot of bad things, but I'm not petting a poodle. That's
one
where
of
I
those
draw the
dogs
line.
where you can feel its bones through the fur. I'm going home.
Jimmie really hates poodles. It's
an awful dog.
He sees him, he goes, ew.
I love every dog except that.
Except the poodles. It's so funny. He really draws the line with poodles.
I'm not doing it.
He's just not okay
I
with
hate
them.
seeing their skin. It's so weird. I can't take it.
Don't give Jimmie a hairless cat. He's going to freak out.
Those creep me the fuck out.
Throw it to the ground.
For my daughter's birthday, I went to go buy her like a ring, like a little girl ring, from this jewelry store by my house. There's a fucking hairless cat in there that I walked in. I was like, oh my God, and it was moving. I was like, oh my God, it's real. And the lady goes, yeah, she's the owner, as like a cute joke. And I was like, well, tell her I ain't buying shit. And I laughed. I'm not gonna be around that thing.
I'm not gonna be around that thing.
That's horrifying.
I won't look at its skin. I won't. I refuse to look at its skin.
It's so bizarre. Tell her she ain't paying her mortgage. I'm leaving.
Jesus Christ.
Keep that fucking thing at home, for Christ's sake.
We're so punchy today. We're both on very little sleep. We're just very punchy today, both of us. It's hilarious. We're having such a good time here. So anyway, he sees the door with this very terrifying poodle in there.
Awful dog.
Sees all of that.
It's the mail, the stolen car, and the door cracked. I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around.
Weird. As a cop, your job is to figure this out. Is the problem?
Yeah, but isn't the job to notify of the car?
Well, yes, but now he's seeing some suspicious shit, and he could just be like, I don't know, they didn't answer and left. I guess that would have been a thing to do, but instead he notices that the storm door is unlocked, so he's like, okay, that's weird. So he knocks, he waits, maybe somebody's in the shower.
Right.
Who knows? You know, it's like they can't hear or something. Maybe they're taking a dump. What do I know?
They're in the shower a lot.
Who am I?
Didn't even hear the newspaper the last 3 days.
That's it. They've really been ill. It's been terrible. So he backs off. He looks around a little. He checks out the outside of the house. No windows broken. No like Richard Ramirez Night Stalker milk crate up in front of a door with a via footprints on them in the dirt. None of that. No, the obvious things of anything like that. Everything looked fine except this door open. It just doesn't make sense why you do that. So that's very weird. So he calls up dispatch and he's like, listen, I need some assistance over here at the notification of the stolen car. So they laugh at him. Yeah. The dispatch laughs at him and they go, are you fucking kidding? Like,
you don't understand. There's a lot of clues of weird shit.
You're telling a guy his car is fucking thing. And he goes, there's something funny about this place. It doesn't look right and it doesn't feel right. Yeah. Request assistance. And there's like a long pause and they just go, 10-4. Like, there's a long pause to hear like whether he's going to go, nah, I'm just fucking around. And then they're like, he's serious. All right, I guess. Whatever.
Take another uniform off the streets for this dick.
Fucking idiot. So later on, the dispatcher said there was something about his voice that didn't seem like he was kidding, and it seemed like maybe he's serious. Also, this is pretty like official. Is this a thing that cops kid about?
Probably.
I need assistance. Get people. I don't think they kid about that usually.
He didn't say shots fired. Yeah. It's not an emergency.
What happens next time he says need assistance? Like, he's full of shit. He's always saying that shit. He's like holding a gun. There's like 8 fucking bank robbers in presidential masks holding people at bay. He's like, I request fucking assistance.
Maybe he shouldn't have called assistance about the car notification.
Crying wolf again. There he is.
Cop who cried assistance.
There he is. He needs, quote, assistance. You know what I mean, everybody? Yeah, okay, let's all give him some assistance. So either way, they're waiting. A couple minutes later, another police car pulls up and another cop gets out. And they were just like 2 blocks away. Yeah. So he says, what's going on here? What the fuck? And the original cop says, I'm not sure. Front door's open. Dog's whining inside. 3 days worth of newspapers. Mailbox crammed with mail. Doesn't feel right. So the other cop goes, well, let's take a fucking look. Let's see what we got. Now that there's 4 of us here, let's take a peek and see what we're doing.
Right.
So they open the storm door and they push their way inside. Now, right away, it's one of these houses where, you got to picture it. It's a split level. Yeah. So when you walk into a small, there's like a little foyer area where you take your jacket off with a little hook and all that kind of shit. And then it's immediately you walk into a wall and then go upstairs. Yeah. And going up the stairs, you would, you're going up to the living level.
Right.
So it's one of those. So as you go up the stairs, at some point, like your face is even with the floor of the living room. You can look over at the floor of the living room and walk up. So that's how it's one of those, all right? So they start walking up right away in the landing on the bottom. Right when they walk in the door, they see some blood there, there.
Fucking told you guys.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
Yeah.
Then, you remember the pictures of this, there are the crime scene as they go up the stairs. Right. At the top of the stairs, it looks like, I can't even explain the amount of blood in the carpet.
Oh, yeah, it's splashed.
It's smeared all over the walls. The carpet is like thick with it. Like it looks like you could wring out a couple of cups of blood. It's like matted. The Gravediggers, 2 cups of blood. That's where they got it from. Wring it out. You should have seen the poodle. It looked like a used tampon just running around. You're like, don't let it rub up on your leg. Why? Because it's a poodle? No, because look at it.
It's high absorbent.
It's very absorbent. It was very small to begin with. Now looks like it's got to go 30 pounds now, right?
Put it in the toilet and watch the stream.
Somebody had a heavy day. Jesus Christ.
On your heavy days, lady, ride a poodle to work.
That's it. By the time you get there, all taken care of, should be.
On the scale of light to super, you got like your Bichon Frise, maybe a Lhasa Apso, and then your Supermax day poodle.
It's a poodle for a Supermax because it's that woolen, it's that fur. It's really
it's dense.
Yeah, and then like the last day, you're just like a Chihuahua because you don't need much. How do you think? What do you think women did back in the day before products?
It's got to be dog right.
That's why poodles are large.
Makes sense now.
They made miniature ones.
Yep.
Why do you think they bred them that way?
Now I love them. They're heroes, for Christ's sake.
They're menstrual assistance animals, usually. It's what they called them. That's how they bred them. I don't know. But either way.
You can bring them to the airport. They have a little vest and everything.
It's wonderful. Oh, they're recognized, absolutely recognized by the FAA or whoever does that. I don't know. So as they find this, as they're walking up the stairs, the cops can see the blood, and then they can look over and see the living room floor as they're coming up the steps. And one of the cops says, quote, "Holy Christ."
Yeah.
Which is not what you want to hear.
That's some bad things happen.
That's bad. So they look out through the wrought iron, little, whatever that is, between the stairs and the living room, there's a wrought iron handrail type of thing. Yeah, so you don't fall into the stairs from the living room, basically. And they see the body of a man lying there. And he is clearly not alive. He's lying on his back. He's wearing pants and socks, no shirt. Yeah. His face and stomach are what they describe as grotesquely swollen.
Oh, boy.
Very swollen. His head, his chest, caked with dry blood, smudges of blood all over the place around him. We'll talk about his injuries. They are severe, but all around him, a soaked chair cushion lay on the floor near his body. They're like, holy shit, this place is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What is happening? That's at that moment that one of them looks down the hall, turns away from this body, and sees something and says, quote, "Jesus, there's another one."
Oh, no.
This isn't good.
No.
So lying partly in the hall off to the right was the body of a woman. Also on her back, blonde hair. She's bloody as fuck, like 80s Ric Flair with a, bloody blonde hair. Nightgown. She's got a robe on. Nightgown's everything's kind of pulled down, but it looks like she's been dragged on the carpet, so they don't suspect a sexual. They don't suspect anything sexual is going on here. They think she's been dragged on the carpet, and that pulls your
grab the garments.
Grabs your garments and pulls it down. That happens a lot. So once they see this, they go, "Holy shit, is it? It's really hot in here, isn't it?" Like, I get that it's only the beginning of May, so it shouldn't be this. It's sweltering in here. The heat is set at 97.
Wow.
So they go, "Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This is clearly something this isn't an accident.
Right.
Nobody hit their head and fell down.
Somebody killed the dog. The thing's vicious."
It is. I'm telling you. Good guard dog.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm keeping it. So either way, they get the fuck out of there. They basically run out.
Yeah.
They call the dispatch from the car and go, "Holy shit, there's double homicide, suicide, murder, suicide. We have no fucking idea. This is above what we do.
We notify about stolen cars, you guys.
That's what I'm doing.
We fucking told you we needed backup."
Well, the backup was on traffic patrol 2 blocks away. So they're just sitting there waiting for people speeding in a school zone or something, and now they're finding this. So there's not a lot of, let's go.
That's a change of the day.
Detectives arrive.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, inside the house, they find what they described as unlike anything they'd ever seen before, the carnage. In the living room, the body of the man there is determined to be Frank Colombo, the man they were trying to get a hold of. And he's 43 years old, Frank Colombo. Okay. And the woman is Mary Colombo, his wife, who's 40 years old. So he is dressed in plain slacks. He's got socks and no shoes. He is soaked in blood. His face is covered. He has gunshot wounds. He has a slit across his throat.
My God.
He has stab wounds. He has evidence of torture, like cigarette burns on his chest as well. And not only that, he has several deep block-shaped, like right angle, block-shaped lacerations that go 2 or more inches into his skull. Into his skull.
Jesus.
So, like a
meat tenderizer.
A meat tenderizer, a fucking framing hammer, something like really hardcore. Yeah, one of that type, but not the framing, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the ones with the big nozzle on the end.
The big nozzle.
Is that what it's called?
To dispense hammering. You want to turn on the hammer spout for me?
The nozzle on the end of the...
Full blast, buddy, yeah. Get it flowing.
How are we supposed to frame this house without it on full blast?
Jesus Christ. People
delivering a payload of punishment to this
house. It's not even trying.
Open the nozzle.
Holy shit.
You know what I mean.
So this is deep, into the skull. I mean, it is. They're like, holy shit. This guy he's been killed several times.
It's a square hole, essentially. Yeah.
He multiple things he could have been dead from.
Yeah.
By the look of it, there is glass all over the place.
Yeah.
Shards of glass, slivers, chips of glass. Some are green, some are clear.
Yeah.
And then right near there, they find a ripped up lampshade that's all bloody, and they don't find any lamp. So they're assuming the broken glass is from this lamp.
There you go.
That was used as a weapon.
Clever.
So they're doing that. They're looking all around. They also find 4 teeth lying on the floor nearby. Overhead, the ceilings are blood spattered. 2 distinct directions of blood spatter, indicating separate upward swings of an instrument. So multiple swings is what they're getting at there. On the glass coffee table, on the underside of the glass, there's a bunch of blood spatter, which means that this happened while he was on the ground.
Right.
He was being beaten for the blood to spatter up like that. Pretty wild, this whole scene. So they check. They feel like they got a pretty good overview of him. So they move down the hall to Mary. She's lying in front of an open bathroom door. Has an inch-wide cut all the way across her throat. Throat been cut clean. Face has blood all over her. In the center, right between the eyes, a perfect right between the eyes round gunshot hole.
Oh, no.
Right there as well. Her head also has been bashed in with a block-shaped instrument. So it's really...
That's a scene, man.
It's a lot. Yeah. And they're like, well, maybe a robbery, you know what I mean? And it got out of hand. They tried to fight back. Who knows? A couple of guineas, they're not going to go down easy without, I worked for this, you motherfucker. So instead, they look down, though, and she has a large diamond ring on her left ring finger.
So it's not theft.
So that seems odd to miss that, you know what I mean? Or shitty robbers if they missed a giant diamond on a ring.
Where that thing usually goes.
Where you'd look for one, yeah. So they also hear an alarm clock buzzing at this point. So they find a clock radio next to the bed that goes through this bathroom into a bedroom. The alarm was set for 9 o'clock, no indication whether it was a.m. or p.m., so they shut the alarm off because it's annoying.
Yeah.
They move through the house. They note that there's blood smeared all over several walls and on both sides of one door. This was a
gruesome scene.
A gruesome scene of people trying to run for their lives and being brutally fucking slaughtered, essentially. So they're like, oh, my God. Now, on a section of the stairs, they find a clear, empty plastic sheath with a fold-over top. Okay. It's made for scissors. It's a little scissor case, like sewing scissors type of deal here. In another place, they find a white leather purse on the floor with its contents strewn about. So like it had been dumped over. Okay. So the purse has been gone through. In the kitchen, the telephone's off the hook, which is odd because the officer had been calling all day.
Right.
So...
What the fuck?
They're like, this didn't happen today.
No.
These people have been here for a couple days, yet somebody hung the phone or somebody took the phone off the hook today.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very odd. So why wasn't it busy?
Solid clue.
That's the other thing too. There used to be something called a busy signal. If you're very young, you don't know this though. They don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
When you'd call somewhere before call waiting.
Yeah.
And they were already on the phone. It would just go, and that meant tough shit.
Sorry,
you hang up, call back later. It's literally busy.
They're literally talking to somebody else.
Can't get it. No text can break through to them. Nothing. So they're like, that doesn't make any sense. But if there's a phone off the hook, it would be you'd get a busy signal if you called, or if it's on the hook, it would ring.
Yeah, they exist now, right now. But it's like when you call it, it goes. Bah. It's like it's the most gentle thing in the world.
It used to be like, this person's on busy, you fucking dick. Wait a minute.
It used to
Jesus
be
Christ.
Like something was on fire.
It was like an alarm clock. It's what it sounded like. And it was, they're busy. Whatever you have isn't that important, you fucking impatient cocksucker. That's what they said to you.
The most go-away sound you've ever heard.
It really is. You hang right up. Oh, God, Jesus. I don't want that. Jesus. Now, next to the telephone, a small personal telephone book of Frank's lays open. On the floor is a pile of garbage, like a small garbage can's been turned over, which is odd. In a closet downstairs, they discover a large wall safe.
Okay.
It is securely locked and doesn't appear that anybody tried to crowbar it open or fuck with it or anything. It's just sitting there. But on that same level, there are drawers open in dressers and things like that, contents strewn about. Okay. They also find a 3-shelf section here on the wall that's all bowling trophies. Frank's a good bowler, by the way. Yeah, he's like, this is my high series from spring of '73. I'm very proud of this one. So
this is the highest average of the league right now.
Pretty fucking good. I averaged at 228 for the whole night that night. Four games. Yeah. I don't know. I'm proud of it. That's all I'm saying. Now, all bowling trophies, and they're all perfectly lined up, except there's one space that seems like there's a trophy that should be there that there isn't one. So they look, and there is dust all around it, perfectly square. So there was a trophy there until very recently. So they're like, interesting. Maybe that's the square.
Who'd he beat that night?
There you go. Who's the other team? That's right.
Look into that 5.
Yeah, that's the Boxcar Bombers are upset. It's a team they were playing that night. So either way, they find that. Now upstairs, they see a bunch of like loose jewelry scattered around.
Yeah,
just like somebody had a handful of jewelry and just like threw it, which is strange. Chair cushions are all over the floor. One chair had blood on it. It was a fucking mess. In the bathroom is a copy of the Elk Grove Herald that's dated Tuesday, May 4th, 3 days earlier.
And they got that.
They got that one, and then the other 3 are the 5th, 6th, and 7th are out on the porch. Okay. So that's the day that this happened, clearly between those two times. So then they finally get to the last bedroom in the house on the upper level. There's finally a last bedroom, and they discover another body.
Oh, no.
This one, too, it is their 13-year-old son. Michael Colombo is his name. Poor Michael. He's 13 years old. He's got a white T-shirt and blue sweatpants on. His head, blood all over him as well. Lying next to him is a mangled bowling trophy with a marble base. Okay. The silver little bowler guy on top is twisted, and he didn't break off, though.
Didn't break it.
This thing was used to beat 3 people over the head, and all it did was twist. That's a quality trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take anything away from
whoever made that. Maybe you use this in your advertisements.
That's what I mean. This is a quality trophy. It really is. That's a good bowling league.
It's also a great advertisement for newspapers. You know how nobody buys a newspaper now?
Yeah.
Every newspaper in the country should be like, we may help solve your murder.
We may help solve your murder.
We'll at least set the time.
Actually, no, you have a Ring doorbell now, so never mind. It's fine. You have a Simply Safe, or you have whatever you have.
You got cameras watching the whole thing.
Never mind. Never mind the newspaper. You'll know what happened. So this poor kid, he's laying here. It's horrible, man. They see that there is blood stains here about 18 inches from his head as well, and they say it's pretty obvious that he'd been lying face down at first and been rolled over.
Oh, yeah.
One forearm has like a bloody handprint on it, like somebody rolled him that way.
Okay.
Now, when they look at him, they notice that his chest, they think that he has measles because he has red marks all over his chest. So, like, I wonder if he's sick. Does he have measles? Then they realize that they're all stab wounds.
Oh my God!
He's got so many stab wounds that they think it's measles. For Christ's sake,
measles look like stab wounds.
I guess so. At a glance.
Oh God, that's so horrible.
So they look around. They're like, "Holy shit!" By the way, he'll end up having 87 stab wounds in his chest.
Holy shit!
87 stab wounds. It's a lot, man. On a metal closet door, there's an indentation that looks like a bullet ricocheted off of it.
Yeah.
And so they were looking around for the bullet. Nearby, they find a pair of gold-colored sewing scissors with blood on them.
Okay.
And I've seen that we have the crime scene picture, and you can tell they've been squeezed together and used as a weapon here. So this is fucking horrible. And just to give you a rundown of the wounds here. Mary'd been shot between the eyes, throat slashed and beaten with the trophy and probably a vase. Frank had been shot 4 times in the head.
My God.
Hit with a lamp and a bowling trophy, stabbed in the throat and chest several times, and had cigarette burns on him.
Fuck.
Michael, 13 years old, shot in the head once, beaten with a bowling trophy, stabbed 87 times with a pair of scissors.
That's too far, man.
Somebody really fucking...
Somebody's mad at that.
Somebody went far.
Yeah.
This is... I don't even know what to say about this. This is fucking crazy. Like, who the hell...
Who would do that?
With the kid there, too?
Right.
Like, we'll get the kid, too, just as bad.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to kill the parents and the kid's there. He's a witness. We got to kill the kid. Some sort of, organized crime thing or, Colombian drug dealers or something. But let's make sure the kid gets it as bad as anyone is a very odd.
Yeah. After probably everybody else is dead, let's destroy a child that it won't hurt them at all because they won't even see it.
It's crazy. That's what I mean. It's far away. It's not like they made him watch. It's
right.
super weird. There's no way to make any sense of this. So outside, while this is all being done, obviously now once they found the first body, there are cars and ambulances and fucking, it's the biggest thing in town, obviously.
And the first cops are still throwing up on the lawn.
Yeah, they're like sitting off to the side, smoking cigarettes, going, Jesus.
I'll never forget it. It's over.
Well, Jesus Christ. I just wanted to make a stolen car notification.
My life is ruined.
I was on traffic duty. This is ridiculous.
I was supposed to hide Christmas gifts this year?
Not doing it. Not doing it. Can't do it.
No. Fuck the
Not even getting a tree. Forget it. So... all the neighbors have now gathered, too.
Yeah.
They're all over there. And somebody says, who's going to tell Patty? Where's Patty?
Where is she?
Well, who's fucking Patty?
Yeah.
Well, Patty is their daughter.
Oh.
By the way. The dog, by the way, the poodle gets taken by a relative. So
that's nice.
Poodle's fine. A relative that can stand poodles.
Is that the first time that... No, it's happened before. The whole family's wiped out and the dog's okay?
Yeah, that's happened a bunch of times. Somebody will take it.
It's rare, though.
Yeah, it's... But the poodle, by the way, would go and like hang out by Mary a lot.
Oh.
So while they were doing that, so they collect all sorts of evidence. They get the bowling trophy. They get they get all of that kind of shit. They said obviously this is your club here. They said the kid was standing up when he was shot. The bullet came out the right side of his head, hit the door, and ricocheted.
It was a through and through.
That's how they decided it. Yeah, right through his head there.
Oh my God!
So they started kind of digging their fingers through. This is 70s shag carpet, so it's deep. Oh. They're digging their fingers here, and after a few minutes, they find the slug, actually, in the carpet buried in there somewhere. So they're moving all around. They're trying to not to fuck up fingerprints, obviously. Right. They get a fingerprint from a handrail on the stairs. Oh. They get one from a door jamb, a partial palm print secured in the utility room, one from the telephone.
Great.
They do all this type of thing here. They get all the carpet samples, chair cushions, bunch of wallpaper, because they don't know if the blood came from the victims or maybe the...
Great point.
Yeah, if there's a knife involved, then you could cut yourself and then bleed all over the place. They cut out the kitchen linoleum and take that. Anything they could find with blood on it, they take it to test it. They find... there's significant things here. They find the medicine cabinet had a lot of prescription pills in it, like older people in the 70s had. Not that 40s is old, but anybody over 30 in the 70s, an undetermined quantity of Valium, things like that.
Undetermined?
Just a shitload of Valium. Yeah, you can count them probably.
Is it liquid, for Christ's sake?
What are we talking about here? So they also got a bunch of broken glass that they were going to try to piece together and see what it was, basically. Holy shit. So then they talk about, by the way, then we got the Colombo car. That was the whole point of being here. Right. That was in Chicago. That's another piece of evidence to put in. And none of it makes any sense.
Yeah, it's
basically
very confusing.
So they got to go, who the fuck are these people? Mm-hmm. Where did they come from? What do they do? So Frank and Mary, they have... They originally lived in a second-floor apartment in a 2-flat building on West Ohio Street in Chicago. Okay. So that was their original when they got married. And then they ended up moving to Elk Grove Village in mid-1956. Okay. Is when they moved there, and it was like a brand new suburb. Yeah. It was this is when suburbs were being built. Right. Kind of
Centex is still around.
A whole ad hoc suburb they just throw up there real quick, and Centex is building. This is after all the Levitt towns and all that kind of thing. So these are blue collar neighborhoods where you can afford to have a yard. That's how it is. So. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad.
Right.
There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
They moved there and were very happy. They had a daughter named Patty.
Yeah.
At first, Patty is 19 now, in 1976. They have a daughter named Patty, and then later on they have Michael as well. So, you know, it's there's not a lot that they can really find. Frank has an auto parts. He manages an auto parts business, and then he also has like investments in a couple of business. One that leases out like workers to laborers to companies and stuff like that. So he's got a couple of things going on.
Temp agency of day laborers, that
kind of sort of thing. Yeah, kind of.
But he's a businessman, local businessman, doing small businesses.
Does fine.
And bowls at night.
Bowls. He's into CB radios.
Oh.
It's a 76. Everybody was into CB. Him and Michael were into it together.
It was fascinating.
It was,
It's a weird thing. It's bizarre that you can grab a box, press a button, talk, and somebody else somewhere else.
You don't even know who it's going to be is the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
That's what it is.
So you can do that with a phone, but it's
somebody else. We don't know.
We don't know.
Just a voice.
And you're looking for anybody.
Yeah, a voice says some shit back to you.
So the next day in the newspaper, they say, and this is from, what is this asshole's name? Conkey. He's a Chicago, he is an Elk Grove cop. And he immediately says that there may be a connection between Columbo's death and his part ownership in a Chicago cartage company, that's garbage, by the way, and a second firm which supplies laborers. He described Columbo as, and in the paper they really put some stank on this because they have everything in quotes.
Yeah.
They describe him as a, in quotes, silent partner in the firms. Silent partner is not a quote. It's a thing. Silent partner means somebody that has a money investment and isn't there all the time.
Right.
No need for quotes. But the quotes make it sound nefarious, right?
He's one of those job
Silent
guys that's
partners.
a no-show guy.
Yeah.
You know what that means.
He also said that his Columbo's business associates in the two firms are, quote, in quotes, are not cooperating with police. Why is that in quotes? Why?
Attribute that quote to somebody.
Maybe they're just minding their own fucking business. Ever think of that? Who knows? So they said, yeah, they're gonna probably try to get the state's attorney to prepare some subpoenas and then things for those kind of people because they got to probe mob ties. Guy's name is Colombo. You know,
close to Chicago.
He did something in garbage. He's got to be in the mob. I'm sure this is a retaliatory thing. Totally normal.
The mob usually wipes out a whole family,
especially the kid.
A long period of time of murder.
Yeah. You don't want to get in and get out. You really want to get in there.
Spend some time
with them and make sure that kid gets it the worst.
Really
That's
connect
the important
with the
part.
family.
That kid gave me a dirty look. I didn't like it. I'll tell you what. I think it's him getting in his father's ear. I'm going to be honest with you. So in the Colombo safe, which was not open, we found out, they found $70,000 cash in there. But, so they were like, see? But then they also found his financial records, insurance papers, his will, and his a ledger log. This is his bank with ins and outs and put this to that. It's all legitimate stuff. He just
track of everything.
Rather than a bank, he puts his money in a safe and keeps the track of it like a bank.
He doesn't collect that tiny bit of interest that gives people a reason to put money in there. He's got it all on his own.
If you know any older Italian people, this is very common. Because all of them are sitting there going, I know what's going to happen. Mussolini will take over again, and all the banks will close, and we'll have to go into the mountains and fight bears and hide from Nazis. I get it. So
we need the cash.
We need to keep it at home. Like, that's how was my grandmother. That was my grandfather. That's all of them. So that's how it is. They like cash businesses where they can hoard the cash.
It's funny how events, and specifically historical ones, shape who you are.
It really does. It really does. They'll keep all the cash in the house in the walls and shit like that. Like, they really get dramatic about it.
It's funny how 60 years, almost 100 years later, they're still making documentaries about it. That would make you want to keep your shit at home.
Keep your shit at home, and it trickles down.
Yeah.
So to all the generations. So they said that this Konke guy or Konke, he said he determined Colombo used cash in nearly every transaction, and he said the family's lifestyle was way better than it should have been on the salary of a manager of an auto parts store.
Okay.
So he says Mr. Colombo was either a very good investor or a careful man with money matters.
Aren't those the same thing?
Yeah. In other words, he's crooked, and we know it.
He's either very good with money or, savvy investor. Same fucking thing, you dummy.
Same shit. They also found tax returns found in the safe that did not mention his interest in 2 Chicago firms, which police say deal only on a cash basis. That's so no one has to file taxes. That's why they fucking deal in cash. That's the whole point. So they were last seen alive, the whole family, about 9 p.m. on May 4th as they returned home from a restaurant. They all went out to eat. Police speculate here that 3 or 4 intruders entered the house as they were preparing for bed here. They said entry was gained by activating an automatic garage door in the garage and probably forcing a lock on a door that led from the garage to the basement family room. They say they've brought up a big list of people, no fewer than 20 names on this list of people, of these gangsters that could be responsible for this.
Either intruders or trespassers, one of the two.
One of the two. Intruders are either mobsters or gangsters, one of the two. We haven't figured it out yet, which one. We're unsure.
A group of 4 human beings or Homo sapiens. We can't figure it out yet.
We have 4 people or they could be humans. We're not sure. Either one.
These fucking jerks.
What an idiot. So then they said that they are probing syndicate ties to him, saying that police found an address book, Elk Grove police found an address book belonging to Frank Colombo containing, this is right in the newspaper, this is in an actual print from a newspaper, containing names similar to known crime syndicate figures they found. Similar. What does that say to you?
Not the same.
He knew Italian people. Being an Italian guy, that's a big stretch.
Wild.
They said although some of the names, Di Stefano, DiBartolo, and Gargano, are the same as known mob figures, like the police say, the newspaper then editorializes this to go on to say they're also common Italian last names. Di Stefano, DiBartolo, Gargano. Remember those names, okay? Just remember that.
They're that boot country's names of Jones, Smith, and Thomas.
Yeah. No fucking shit. So that's what they say. So they also say they received a letter in the mail naming 2 men as the killers. It was just an anonymous letter in the mail. So that could be anybody going, my friend Frank's an asshole or whatever. So they're like, the only person alive in this family left is Patty. We got to talk to Patty. Patty's their daughter.
Key.
She's 19 years old. She would know what her parents were into and up to anyway.
Yeah.
Patty Colombo here, 19 years old, and Patty's kind of hot shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patty's I showed you the picture of her. Patty is
smoke show.
She's pretty sexy for like the 70s. She's got, she's definitely got something about her. She's 19.
She's got a swagger just standing.
She's got a way about her, as Billy Joel once said. So.
That's my uptown girl right there.
There you go, man. So she is, they talked to her, and she's crying, and, they're trying to get information. They said, where was your father employed? He said she says at the Western Auto Parts Supply Terminal down in Chicago. She said, when I was a little girl, he used to take me to work with him, and, I would help him and all this type of shit. Did your mother work? She said, no, she never worked. Dad wouldn't let her. How old was Michael? He just turned 13. Can you tell me about valuables that were kept in the house? She said, I don't know. I haven't lived at home for over a year. She lives on her own, Patty, so she doesn't know. She said, I know my mother had a few diamond rings, some diamond earrings, and a gray fox stole. So like a, whatever.
Those are valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said, did your father keep large sums of money? And she said, I don't think so. He never talked about it if he did. He keeps his fucking mouth shut.
That's the thing about money.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it.
She said any money would have been in his safe, I guess. It's in a downstairs closet at the end of the hall. And they said, yeah, we saw it. Do you have the combination? And she said, no. Right. And he said, oh, okay. Meanwhile, they had already forced it open.
Right.
They said, do you know if there's any guns in the house? And she said, I know of Michael's BB gun. That's about it. I don't know of any other guns in the house. And they said, when was the last time you talked to your parents? And she said, a couple days ago. I mean, just a couple days ago. She said that Dad called me to talk about my wedding plans. So we'll talk about she's got a boyfriend. We've been on the outs for a while, and he didn't approve of my boyfriend. And, so she said, quote, my dad was real old-fashioned, I'm his only daughter, but he kind of finally came around and accepted my boyfriend, and him and my mom were actually looking forward to the wedding. So Patty said, can I tell you about the crank calls I've been receiving?
Oh, please do.
The cop said, please. And she said, it's been going on for 2 or 3 weeks now. I'll answer my phone, and some guy will say, is this Pat? Then starts breathing real heavy like he's panting. I didn't think much about them, but now that this happened, I don't know. She said, so the cop said they may or may not have anything to do with what happened, but we can place a tap on your phone to find out where they're coming from.
Right.
And she said, please.
Judging by the looks of you, I'd be calling you too.
Yeah, maybe it's just someone from work that's a fucking weirdo pervert. You ever think of that? Any perverts at work? So they said, what the fuck, basically. She said, well, I want to know about funeral arrangements too. Did you find anything that says what kind of funeral arrangements they wanted? Do you have that information? Was that in the house?
Is there a will?
Yeah, she said, my Uncle Mario, my father's brother, is trying to take charge of everything, but I think they would want me to do it, so I don't know what to do. So they said, I don't know. We're not really looking at that right now. If we find it, we'll let you know.
We don't plan funerals, lady.
Yeah.
This is a funeral parlor out front?
You see that?
Police station.
What the fuck does it say out there? Does it say fucking community outreach center? No. So after the interrogation, they called it, just anytime they talk to anybody, it's an interrogation. She is interviewed by reporters as well. She goes outside and reporters talk to Patty here. And they asked about if there any suspicions about her family's murder. Do you know anybody that you're suspicious of? She said, I don't know. Quote, the only thing I can think is that whoever did it must have been high on drugs or something, or else they're very sick people. Yeah. Which is kind of a obvious understatement there.
So.
Yeah, that's it. So then they say, Miss Colombo, the police have a personal phone book taken from your family's home that contains several names that may be Chicago crime syndicate figures.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. They said, do you fear for your life? And she says, I do. Yes.
They murked my brother.
Even my brother, I get weird phone calls and panting. She said, I've had the locks changed on my door, and I keep a large German Shepherd in my apartment.
You're damn
now.
right
God
she does.
damn it. I'm not taking any shit.
Poodle. See what it did.
So this is turning into a fucking circus at this point. So they kick the Elk Grove department out of here. You guys don't know how to investigate this. The Cook County Sheriff's Office takes over, and they know how to investigate murder. So we got this. The guy assigned to it, remember the Di Stefano, DiBartolo, Gargano,
right.
You know, crime figure names.
Those bad men.
The lead investigator, Gene Gargano, doesn't see it that way.
Or, James, he's doing this because he's got to cover this shit up for his brother.
You know what? Or him. He might have a whole thing going on. He might be like, the guys in New York there that were doing that.
He's got to disappear it.
Yeah, Polito and those guys. Yeah, I'm telling you. So they were, this Gene Gargano comes in and, he's got to, interview everybody over again, and he's basically starting from scratch.
He throws the mob investigation right through the incinerator.
That's garbage. Yeah, there's nothing. He looks at it and goes,
idiots.
In Chicago, we've seen mob hits. This ain't one of them.
Right.
That's all there is to it. So Patty says that he talks to Patty. She says on Tuesday, May 4th, she got home. She got to her apartment. She was at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Got some chicken, got home at 6 o'clock. Her phone was ringing. It was her father. She talked to him for about 30 minutes that night. There's blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all she knows. She said that that was the last she talked to him. Yeah. But Gargano also interviews Gloria Rizzuto over here. Yeah. Gloria's Frank Colombo's fucking sister.
Yeah.
Hey, Gloria! So she says that she spoke to them on May 2nd. Was the last time she spoke to the family. She said that she spoke to Mary, and Mary said she and Frank hadn't seen Patty for a month at that point.
Oh.
Yeah, which was
an awful long time.
Interesting. She said that Gloria Rizzuto said that Mary had said that Patty was flaky, which she's 19. I mean, what 19-year-old kid isn't a little flaky?
Shit together.
Yeah, but whenever she spoke with Patty, Mary would become terribly upset, she said. She's always upset her and all that sort of thing. Gloria said she tried to encourage her brother to communicate with Patty to smooth things out because Mary didn't want to make the effort. But, they said they hadn't made up at that point, though. Meanwhile, Patty said everything was fine.
Right.
So who knows there. Autopsy here. This is a little bit, Jesus Christ.
Heavy, huh?
It's a heavy one, man. It's a heavy one. This is Frank here. Let's just read some of it here. Wow, Jesus Christ. Lacerations on the top side and front of the head been caused by striking with a blunt instrument of some kind. They're not going to say what it was in the report. They found on the left side of the neck a number of round brown areas resembling burns, such as might have been made by a lit cigarette. This is the head. 4 bullet entry wounds and no bullet exit wounds in Frank's head.
They all stayed.
All stayed. Bullet number 1 entered the head on the right side of the face and is being retrieved from the sphenoid. The bullet number 2 entered the mouth and is being retrieved from inside the sinus. A number of teeth are missing from the upper and lower gums from the bullet. And they found those on the floor. Bullet number 3 entered the left side of the face and is being retrieved from immediately behind the left cheekbone, which is fractured as well.
Oh, boy.
So that's a lot. The bullet's all deformed, they said as well. Bullet 4 entered the back of the left ear and is being retrieved from the temporal bone. It never entered the skull. It just kind of went up and skidded around it.
Wow, like a ram's helmet.
Exactly.
Wow.
Gave him a little horn.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty fucking wild here. The theory is the home invasion hypothesis. They don't think it's them. They know it's at the mafia, so they're still in the 3 or 4 people must have come in.
Yeah,
picked the side door lock probably. Caught him getting ready for bed. Maybe Frank heard some noises, went downstairs to investigate it, where they overpowered him, stabbed, shot, bludgeoned, especially if there's a few of them. And then his wife was there. Now they're saying that they're unsure. There might have been some Mary may have been raped and may not have been raped. Now they're talking about. So, again, that's not usual for a mob hit. Most of the time you're doing a mob hit, you keep your dick in your pants.
Yeah.
So he said, they said at that point, too, maybe they just killed the teenage son, so there'd be no witnesses. That's what they're thinking here. But then why wouldn't they steal everything? Nothing makes sense.
And why would you do it that much?
Yeah, it's so weird. Then they said, well, they talked to Patty again, and they say, do you know anybody? I mean, really anything? And she goes, you know what? There is something. My mom's sister told me this. Don't know if it's anything, but it might be helpful. Don't know if you're interested, but my dad and my brother were super into CBs.
Yeah.
And again, if you're young and you don't know what a CB is, a trucker holding a thing with a cord on it, going breaker, breaker, that's a CB. Now, you see truckers have those to talk to each other, to tell them there's a Smokey and a Pokey up in Makaloki up there. You got all that, but back in the 70s, everyone had these.
It's crazy.
Not only in their cars, in their fucking homes. Just in their homes. They just have a CB sitting there for some reason. I don't know why the whole country was obsessed with this technology. It was the first internet.
So rudimentary. You called it Texas Tinder.
Texas Tinder, I called it. Yeah, and the one, that's what it is.
Betty Lou Beats?
Betty Lou Beats. Yeah. She was using it as Texas Tinder. She was finding all her boyfriends out on the CB.
It's a fascinating.
It's so strange.
My family all had them too.
Everybody did in the 70s. At home.
They all had a fucking handle. So creepy.
It's so weird. Yeah. So she said they were really into CB. They had Citizens Band radios all over the house, and they belonged to a CB club there in Elk Grove. Wow. Now, in the 70s, there's probably a lot of people. Imagine that group, say, 1991, when it's dwindled down to like 4 guys with like just a couple of stringy hairs in their mullet and the rest of it bald, and they're paunchy and fat.
You used to have to have your own channel. Now everybody's just got one community channel.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. No one cares.
Nobody's talking over each other.
No, there's nobody there. Jesus.
That's the other thing about it. It was one voice at a time.
Well, that's it. And then you had to, okay, well.
You had to key up your mic, one voice at a time.
That's really difficult.
Can't have a conversation.
Yeah, which really was difficult in the end of, I believe it was season 3 of Stranger Things, when he needed to get help from his girlfriend to sing the Never-Ending Story song. They both sang at the same time together, and you could hear each other. Well, you can't do that on a
No,
CD.
you can't.
It's only one or the other. Sorry.
One person doesn't hear the other, and they think they're the only one singing.
Luckily, they're like, well, kids that watch this don't know what a fucking CB is anyway. They just go, that's that cool old whatever walkie-talkie thing. They don't know that you can't do that.
It's a walkie-talkie where everybody screams together.
Yeah. And if any of the parents say to their kids that you can't do that, they'll just tell them to shut the fuck up and watch the show.
Watch. They're doing it.
They're doing it right now. See? The Never-Ending Story. By the way, what is the Never-Ending Story, Dad? Because I've never heard of that
I
either.
don't understand the point of this song.
Don't know that.
See, there's this giant weird dog, son.
All right, check that. Right, so we got to start from the beginning. So Patty goes, well, my aunt said she thought that maybe some CBers had been involved in what happened.
Oh.
4 of them bust in there.
They've got sea beef.
Sea beef. Broke in there looking for fucking whatever his handle was, Frank's handle. Rigatoni 43 over here. We're here for you, Rigatoni 43.
Where's Baked Zadiac?
Where is he? So they said that Dad, she said maybe that happened because, quote, Dad recently had something to do with the disciplining of a member who was giving the club problems. Oh no.
What are you doing?
What kind of he was on the wrong band, and he got like, what kind of problems could he be causing?
That's literally the only one.
That's all you could have a problem with.
He leaves the mic keyed up for 3 seconds after he's done talking. It's real annoying.
Just you can't get a flow going with the guy. You know what I mean? There's no flow conversationally. I can't pop it off. So she said, I didn't know anything about it myself. My aunt thought you ought to know. So this isn't even me. And they said, yeah, we want to know anything like that. Anything at all. Any little leads. Could be a big lead. Who the fuck knows? So then they figured out that the investigation team found that an expensive CB radio that was missing from the murder house they found it being sold in an open air market in Chicago 2 days after the bodies were found.
Oh, shit.
So just somebody had like a blanket out in the street with a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And it was stolen shit. The guy who was selling it, they didn't think he had anything to do with it. He just bought it from somebody on the street. Now he's selling it again. That's it. The buyer actually came forward with it after he heard about the stuff. The guy who was trying to sell it came forward because he found the name Columbo etched on the underside.
Oh, shit.
And so he put 2 and 2 together, and he actually went to turn it into the cops.
Wow.
Which for some guy selling shit on the street, that's pretty upstanding.
It sure is, yeah. Because that guy's doing that.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, look, I'm probably doing other illegal shit. Turn your head, but here's this.
He could have made $50 off that thing, so good for him. Now, the cops, they start asking a little bit about Patty as well. They talk to some of her girlfriends, a Joanne they talk to, and a Karen. Yeah. Karen and Joanne they need to talk to.
You're in a lot of trouble if you've done anything wrong. Those are the two people talking.
They're both like born in like 1960. Yeah. It's Karen. Yeah. So they're
originals.
Like 60-year-old. Yeah. A lot of managers being spoken to in this among the two of these
angry ladies.
From the burbs out here and everything. Now, they said they know Patty, and she works at Walgreens, Patty, and they were shopping in Walgreens the same day the bodies were found, and they said that Patty seemed to be herself. Yeah. She didn't appear to be too nervous or troubled. This is before the bodies were found. Right. So she wasn't like, hey, you guys haven't been by my house. There wasn't a whole bunch of cars out front of her. Like, she wasn't suspicious is what they were talking about. They said, did she get along with her brother? And they said, oh, she loved her brother. While she would work at the store, the brother would come by, and she'd come around from around the counter and make a big deal and walk around with them. And, hey, this is my little bro. And like they were really tight. So they're like, okay, well, this makes no sense. Who the fuck did this? Aliens? Like, what is going on? And then a call comes in. Oh, Jimmy, a call comes in. It's a mystery caller. I
love them.
Mystery caller who knows a lot of stuff that he shouldn't probably know about this type of thing. He said he has some information that might lead to some help here. Basically they said that they ended up saying the call was made from the south side of Chicago. They believe the caller was a white man. They described about him. They said, quote, he knew too much to be a prankster. We don't think he was involved in the slayings, but we believe he could provide us more details, which would be helpful in solving the case. Yeah. So the guy who called is a guy named Lanyon Mitchell. Lanny, they call him. Yeah. Like Leapin' Lanny Poffo. He is 24 years old Leapin' Lanny here. Now, Lanny ends up putting himself into what's called voluntary custody, which I've never heard of before.
You can do that?
You can just check into jail like a hotel, apparently.
Somebody tase me.
Yeah, somebody tase me. Maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure.
I'm so hard.
I'm fucking rock hard. Voluntary custody.
Somebody mace me.
Put somebody bigger in my cell with me. I'm super.
And give him a taser.
Come on.
That's a fascinating thing that you can do.
I did not know that voluntary custody was a thing.
Hold me, I'm insane.
I'm insane. It's him and another man come in voluntary custody. Really? So what's going on here? The cops said the pair are free to leave the jail whenever they want. They're not being held. They're not charged with anything or anything like that. Now, they have some interesting stuff to say. They go, there's some stuff you don't know about here. Yeah. Patty has a boyfriend. Remember how she was going to get married? Right. Well, she didn't exactly tell you a lot about her boyfriend as much as she should have here. Patty's boyfriend. Now, she works at Walgreens. Her boyfriend is the manager of the Walgreens. Oh? Seems nice. His name is Frank DeLuca. Mm-hmm. And when they meet, everything seems wonderful. They tell she tells the parents, this is my boyfriend. He's like 26. He's my manager. Right. He's got a good future ahead of him. He's going to be like a regional Walgreens guy. Come on. You know how much Walgreens is going to blow up 50 years from now? Holy shit. You won't be able to swing a bloody poodle without hitting a Walgreens in the next few years. You have no idea.
Everything that you are going to get when you have a cold, it'll be there.
Anytime you see an empty lot and you go, what are they building there? The answer is Walgreens. It's always Walgreens every single time. So deal with that shit. Yeah. It's fucking Walgreens. So, but still, Frank DeLuca, Columbo didn't approve of him, and he was right, actually, because it turns out that DeLuca's a fucking liar. And Patty was lying to her father as well. He's not a single 27-year-old Walgreens manager. He is the manager of Walgreens. That much is true.
That's true.
He's also 34 years old. Uh-oh. He's also married.
Oh, God, Jesus.
And he also has not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 kids at home. So he just changed from being a free-swinging mid-20s Walgreens manager to a married guy with 5 loud fucking dirty kids running around his place trying to make ends meet on a Walgreens manager salary. Now there's that.
That two variables changed, and it went from all right to what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on?
2 variables.
2.
Married and 5 kids.
5 kids.
It's sad.
So really 6 variables. 6 people. 6 other people got brought into the story.
The age too. That
but
makes
it's a lot.
it sad.
It makes it real sad. So this shit is weird.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's not okay. So when Frank Colombo found out about all this type of shit, he freaked out. Obviously, it was like, you're not fucking going out there. So she moved out. Now, where did she go? She moved in with Frank Colombo, or with Frank DeLuca, and his wife and kids.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah. She moved in and pretended like she was the nanny at the house, this nice girl that works at Walgreens, and she's just there to fucking...
To bang Frank.
Bang Frank all around, right? Frank DeLuca. And
she's stealing the family from the inside out.
She's a hand that rocking the cradles, maybe.
Yeah.
She's rocking the cradle on this family.
This is real bad.
This is bad shit. She's DeMornaying the family. You can't do that.
She did it long before the movie.
She had it down. So DeLuca has also promised to manage her budding career as a model as well. Because, a Walgreens manager with 5 kids probably has a lot of connections in the fashion industry, I'm sure. I'm sure he does.
Being honest, though, looking at her, she needs no help.
No.
She's got it under control.
Yeah, she's pretty fine.
Just go out there and be hot and you'll do fine.
He's like, yeah, just be hot. Yeah, what's that?
How weird is it, too, that he's got the same name as her dad? You can't.
Frank and Frank.
You can't do that.
Yeah, if you're just going to get another Italian guy, though, it's pretty good chances you're going to get a Frank, a Jimmie, a Tommy, a Vinny. If you can't have any of those,
you're probably going to bang a Frankie.
You're really limiting your pool at that point. I want an Italian guy, but not named Frank, Jimmie, Vinny, or you're done.
Mario.
It's over with. Not a lot of Marios. I've only known one actual
She's
Mario.
She's got an Uncle Mario, though. That's
she does. Yeah, Uncle Mario. It's all over the fucking place.
You can't bang your relatives.
No, you can't. But there you go. So now Patty, what ended up happening is his DeLuca's wife found out.
Oh, of course she's going to find out.
Obviously. And so Patty was heartbroken and she got kicked out of the house. And where'd she go? Back to Dad.
Yeah.
Dad said, that fucking scumbag DeLuca. Yeah. You don't need him. He's a bum. Disgraziad. He's a fucking bum, this guy.
Embarrassment to Frankies everywhere.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't deserve the name Frank. I'm going to make him change his name from Frank. I've had it. So she moves back in, and Frank Colombo, Dad, says, listen what I'm going to do for you, sweetheart. Listen, he wronged you. He hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it. What we're going to do is I'm going to find you an apartment just for you. Yeah. I'll pay your rent. I'll buy you furniture. I'll get you all set up. You don't need this fucking bum.
Yeah.
You start over.
Yeah.
Start over without this guy.
That's what you do as a dad.
So her apartment, Dad's paying the rent.
That's what dads do.
Everything's going great.
Yeah.
Until a couple months into this arrangement, Frank Colombo finds out that Frank DeLuca has been living there also, plowing his daughter. So Frank Colombo not happy, as you can imagine.
Poor bastard.
Here. It's a little bit weird. So what Frank Colombo does is Frank Colombo finds them in a parking lot coming out of a store and ambushes Frank DeLuca while holding a .22 rifle.
Dad's got the
rifle and says, stay the fuck away from my daughter.
Yeah.
And also, not for nothing, but I'm paying the fucking rent over there. Same thing. They're like 6 years apart in age. Yeah. This is crazy. Like, you stay the fuck away from my daughter. 6 years apart.
Oh, the dad and Frank.
The dad.
Yeah,
or
the
like
two Franks.
7 years. Yeah,
the two
7
Franks
years.
are too close.
They're very close in age here. So Frank DeLuca apparently had some wise-ass thing to say about this. Yeah. So Frank Colombo takes the butt of the .22 rifle and knocks him out, splits his lip and knocks his teeth out. Knocks some teeth out, knocks him out cold in the parking lot.
As a good dad does.
That's terrific. Now, problem is, Patty then calls the cops and has Frank, her dad, thrown in jail on an assault charge.
I guess that is illegal.
Yeah, you can't.
It
was in public, too. I mean, if it was in the house, it's one thing, but in a parking lot.
I don't know. In public, it seems like it should be more legal.
I would imagine. So you're showing everybody.
Yeah.
So he gets out of jail, Frank Colombo, and he says, I'm disowning Patty.
Yeah.
Which in the Italian culture, that's a big deal to be disowned. Yeah. That means it's over for you. You're out.
Yeah.
Disowned.
You're not my daughter.
It's a very official, designation.
There's paperwork.
Disowned. Yeah. Stamp on your picture. Disowned. Poof. Done.
Like captured on the top 10
That's
FBI.
it.
Disowned.
Disowned. Done. So they're like, okay, this is very interesting. They're talking about all this. And that's when they talk to, basically they find out some stuff here. They talk to a man who tells them a little bit of a story about Patty. Now, Patty, after this whole thing happened with Dad and all that and disowning and everything, at that point, Patty went to a friend of hers and said, do you know, I don't know if you know anything about this, but do you know possibly where I could find somebody who'd be willing to kill my father?
Oh.
Hitman type guy. You know anything about that type of deal?
Listen, this is Exceptional Village. Everyone always comes together to help everyone.
Helps a neighbor in need. So a friend takes her to a place called, where else? The Where Else Lounge. Where you find hitmen. The Where Else Lounge. Where else do you find hitmen? Right here at this sleazy shithole.
Did you say where else? Open the yellow pages.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So this friend introduces Patty to two men who can do the job.
Yeah.
She talks to him and she says, will you, you think you could fucking
do me a solid.
Do this? I don't know, I can pay you. And obviously, there's pay involved. They're not going to do this for free. They don't know her. So it's a guy named Lanny Mitchell, who we know about, Mr. Voluntary Custody.
Tase me, bro.
And a man named Roman Sabinski. Okay, these are the two guys. Now, she says, Lanny and Roman. Yeah, it sounds right. You know what I mean? And she says, listen, I could pay you, but I got to wait till before my dad officially disowns me and cuts me out of everything. I can pay you once I get my inheritance. I'm going to get $100,000. So I'll pay you $20,000 to kill my parents.
Keep in mind, I got to wait on a check and then you get it.
Yeah, then you guys get it. So they go, well, we can't just, you got to, most of the time a hitman type arrangement, it's half up front, half upon completion.
Yeah.
You can't
Real
just
contractor style.
You can't just say I'll pay you later. That's a lot to put someone on the line for. You know what I mean?
You can't say send me an invoice.
Exactly, and then you haven't paid them, and they've killed somebody, and then you know about it. It's bad business for the hitman.
Not a lot you can take from anybody.
So they go, well, you got to give us a down payment or something. You got to give us half up front. She goes, okay, well, I don't have any money, but what I can do until I get the money, until you do this, how about? I don't know if they'll be okay with this, but how about I'll just fuck the both of you silly?
It's a fascinating ATM.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
You just come over and plow me. You can bring your friends over. They plow me too.
Yeah.
Literally. And they go, all right, sure. So they come over. This happened. This is 8 months before the murder. So this is this goes on and on and on. At one point, she's like, maybe you kill him around Christmas, kind of like a Christmas present for me. And they're like, yeah, sure, bend over, honey. It is ridiculous. They're plowing her at the same time, one at a time. Frank's there taking pictures.
Hell yeah.
DeLuca's taking pictures. These two are plowing her. Other people are coming over and fucking plowing her. They're taking pictures of this. She loves the whole arrangement, by the way.
She's having a great time.
She's super into this, and her parents are going to die.
This is easier than money.
Win for everybody, right? Everybody's happy. Everything's great.
Yeah.
The problem is neither of these men are hitmen. Neither of them have any interest in killing anyone at any time.
You tell me they're just two horny dudes?
They're just, Lanny Mitchell is a used car salesman.
Hell yeah.
And Roman Sabinski is a recruiter for the Cook County Civil Service Commission. They're just a couple of guys at the bar who happen to get to plow a 19-year-old girl a whole bunch. They're like, oh, we're going to kill him so good. You have no fucking idea. Never had any intention of killing. They just were like, we get to bang this 19-year-old girl over and over again.
Only thing we're murdering is this pussy.
Is that pussy? That's it. So...
Unbelievable.
After about 8 months, Patty starts to go, I don't think they're going to kill my parents. I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that these two aren't on the level.
This murder layaway paid for with pussy doesn't seem to be coming around.
I just keep blowing them and they just keep coming over and no one dies.
Feels like the only people getting anything out of this is them.
That's crazy. Oh my God. So Robin Sabinski, he's a civil service recruiter, like I said. He's doing all this shit. His wife, the people around him are like, I think he works for the city. He lives in a nice little ranch-style home.
And he giggles a lot.
Looks real happy. Comes home, wife, kids, comes home, big smile on his face. Never trusted him. One neighbor said, I think he's a politician.
I have to assume that because every time we talk, he's just smiling. Like he's
just
selling
real
me
smiling,
some
shaking hands, real talkative, happy guy. So that's Roman Zabinski, and that's them. That is fucking hilarious. At one point, I guess Zabinski and DeLuca spoke like 3 times a day leading up to the murder here for the first few for the months leading up to it here, which is fucking crazy. At one point, Zabinski told DeLuca that, or DeLuca told him, I'm sorry, DeLuca called Zabinski and said, listen, I think we're going to have to kill Junior, which is Michael Colombo. He comes into the store and he stares at me. Says, I have a feeling he knows how the parents feel toward me and Pat. If he's not killed with the parents, at a later day, he'll grow up and hold a grudge.
Probably.
I would assume so, which is maybe the most Italian thing in this entire fucking entire thing. That's insane. He's going to grow up and hold a grudge against me and come back and kill me later. I know it. I know it. When he grows up and he's going to grow up and he's going to grow up strong. And then what happens? Stab him 87 times. That's the only way to get it done. Fucking so stupid, man. So fucking stupid. So, so Zabinski just tells the cops everything.
Yeah.
That's just everything, man. He says, Patty told me there was some very bad feelings between her and her mother and father and her boyfriend, and she couldn't be happy as long as her family lived. So he said that he gave Patty a loaded .32 caliber for protection, which he said he stole from a friend, Zabinski. The .32 caliber gun ended up being the one used in the murder.
Oh.
So she did get a gun from him, so she got something anyway out of it. She said that he said she started to become impatient by the spring of 76 here.
I'm real sore.
She's like, guys, really? She said if we were not going to do it, to tell her because she would get someone else to do it or just do it herself.
Oh.
At one point, she pulled a .22 caliber Derringer from her purse, cocked it, and pointed it at them and said, look how easy it is to kill someone. You just have to squeeze the trigger. Come on, guys.
Holy shit.
Let's do this. Like, she was really cheerleading them on here. Then they found out also, Patty finds out at this point, that once they read his will, she was totally cut out of the will. He cut her out.
Disowned.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Dis-fucking-owned, and everything else valued at about $100,000 was going to her little brother,
oh, God,
who's now dead. But she got ugats either way.
So where does it go then?
Probably to a family member, I would assume, to his sister maybe, or something like that. The dog, for the care of Fluffy.
I hope it went to the dog.
So May 15th, 1976, they go to Patty's apartment. They're going to check it out. They're going to see what's going on here. They get to the apartment in the morning. They observe an ashtray containing more cigarettes.
Yeah.
The brand, More Cigarettes, which is like a ladies brand in the 70s and 80s.
They're the ones that made you sound like Marge Simpson's sisters.
Yeah. How you doing? I smoke Moors. Do you like them? How are they? I know they kind of smelled like burlaps on fire, but that's all right. I think you're going to like them.
They taste delicious, and I haven't noticed a single change about me.
Nothing. How you doing? No, call me Ms. Ms. what? Just Ms.
Two Z's.
Two Z's. I don't do that S thing. So they found more packs of more cigarettes in the kitchen there. These are the cigarettes that they found around Frank Colombo's body that they think the cigarette burns were made with. And they found smoked more cigarettes in the house as well. And neither of them smoked more cigarettes, neither of the Colombos here. Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting connection here. Also, the cop observes a stack of 15 or 20 photographs on the coffee table. The top photograph shows Patty fucking an unknown male that they don't know who that is.
Hell yeah.
They look through it and find just pictures of her banging people and pictures of her posing.
Somebody tase me.
It is just, tase me, please.
These are so hot.
It's so hot. We don't have to arrest her, do we?
Oh, she's an angel.
They find all of that shit. They said that the pictures were taken. This is fucking wild. They said that Mitchell had never said that photographs were taken of the sex acts between him and Colombo. However, he did admit that sexual intercourse had happened and maybe pictures had been taken. Now, also, they took these pictures to send to a magazine in Pennsylvania. That was the excuse of why they had.
That's where the mecca of all pussy fame is started.
I suppose it's in Western Pennsylvania. You know, where all the where all the coos mags are. In the 70s. That's what they would have called them. Send them into one of them coos mags
over there in Pittsburgh.
You know how it is over there. Over there in Allentown. They stopped doing steel work. They're making real nice coos mags.
I just realized, too, they probably developed those for free at Walgreens.
Probably. Oh, I'm sure they did. Absolutely developed them for free at Walgreens. You fucking know it, man. They bring Patty in cuffs at this point. She's real abusive to the cops right away. She calls them fucking animals.
Oh.
She kind of like was struggling with them and being kind of real. She's being difficult, to put it that way.
So we've seen you in some compromising positions.
Like, this isn't right, goddammit. Yeah. No, it's not right. They said, what about you have overdue rent payments there? So they're trying to ask her like you needed. They're laying the groundwork of you need money. At that point, she got angry and began to shout obscenities at the investigators. They said, do you know Mitchell, Lanny Mitchell? She said she doesn't. And they said, well, Mitchell's here now. And, he's given a full statement of that he's really knows you well, actually. He knows you carnally.
Check out these pictures that he had in his wallet.
Yeah. He knows, like, what your butthole looks like. He can describe it to a T. So that we tend to believe him.
Yeah.
So at that point, Patty looked over and saw him through the window, and then she said, all right, yeah, I know him. Fine. So, yeah. So then she said that she never told the police because she was afraid that she'd be harmed.
Oh.
Because these guys must have killed my parents. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She said she never even told DeLuca about anything here. Okay. So they said that she said that DeLuca didn't care about the photographs because he knew that she previously sent similar photographs to a magazine in Pennsylvania as well. So apparently there's a whole conglomerate of magazines down there. She said she also had she doesn't know Mitchell, but then she had a phone number of a club, the Club Claremont, which Mitchell hangs out at all the time.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. All lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
And also, she has called on several occasions. So who are you looking for? So finally, after all this, she says, I don't want to talk anymore.
I've had enough.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Landers or Gargano. Oh. I'll talk to one of those. So Landers comes in, this other cop.
Yeah.
And Colombo said that she's afraid that Mitchell might kill her if she says anything. Mm-hmm. She also said that they were going to kill her family and had forced her to have all sorts of sex with them. It was filthy.
8 months off.
Just super filthy. I know my friend took me there and saw me offer it, but they made me do it. And I was innocent. They said, we're going to kill your parents and have lots of sex with you. And she was like, no, please don't do either of those things. That's what happened.
And then for 8 months, they did those things.
They did those things and didn't do that other thing. And so either way, that's how this whole thing is going down. It's pretty amusing. The whole, honestly.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, she's really aggressive with them, and she's aggressive in her denials, and then she'll completely stop a denial of one thing, change it to something else, and be just as aggressive about that. So It's really weird. Yeah, it's interesting, man. So they said, well, will you give a written statement to police in the presence of a court reporter? And she would. Then she wanted to make a telephone call. They let her. They tried to kind of get to know her a little bit. They were trying to kind of get to. They said maybe if we are friendly with her, maybe that's the way she'll give it up. You know, not her. The truth, not her ass. So
it seems to be the thing that works best with her.
Yeah. In one of her statements, she said yes, she had talked to Roman and Lanny about possibly killing her dad. Maybe, but nothing was concrete. She said that she was only thinking about it because she, quote, wanted to beat her father to the punch.
Oh,
because he came, up to us with a rifle, so I feel like he was going to kill us.
Right.
That's what she said. So they said, do you want to call an attorney before you make a written statement? She said, and again, a very Italian thing, I want to call my godmother first, which is just hilarious. And she did.
Yeah.
She talks to her godmother, and then she gave her written statement, which was just a load of shit. That, I was scared, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of shit.
They fucked me a lot.
Yeah. By the way, before she gives her statement, they have to Mirandize her again. And she said, I heard all this before. I understand. She's super pissed.
You didn't even say anything new.
She actually said that. Quote, I've already heard this before. I understand my rights. I want to talk. You're not saying anything new. So.
That's what an angry woman says.
That is, exactly what this woman says. So she then claims that the officers refused to let her put on coat and shoes at the apartment.
Yeah.
And they said, we tried to force you to put on coat and shoes and you didn't want to. And then we got outside and you saw it was wet and then you wanted shoes and it was too late.
That's a woman.
So, yeah, she's going on and on about all that. She's complaining that they've been mean and all this type of thing. She talks about Mitchell and Sabinski and all their sex and everything like that. And she's done. They read the statement, and the cop says, this statement doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
You should get your thoughts together. So that statement's never concluded, okay?
D-.
Not good. Yeah. Must do better. So then she is arraigned and everything like that. And afterwards, she wants to talk to the investigators. Oh. And so they go to see her. When they arrived, she greets them. She's very, kind of shaken. And she says, I'm glad you guys could be here.
Oh.
And they were like, wow, well, yeah, let's advise her of her rights. And they said, you want your attorney? And then she said, no. I want to talk right now. She said, listen, I've had a vision.
Oh.
I've had and I'm currently having a vision. I have a vision that might help you. I'm a little psychic. I don't know if you knew that.
Let's get it on paper.
Yeah. So you guys gather around.
Yeah.
Okay. In my vision, I see my mother. I see my father. He's lying on the floor in the living room. Oh, it's so sad. He's next to a chair by the railing. He's laying on his back. He's on his back. He's wearing dark colored pants, socks but no shoes.
Oh my God!
Hold on. Wait. I'm moving around the house. She's like channeling, walking through the house. I'm moving through the house. I'm moving into the hallway. I see my mother. Yeah, she's lying there on the floor. She's wearing a nightgown and a bathrobe. And I can see my brother in the bedroom. Oh, my poor brother.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor boy. He's in the bedroom. It's dark. I can't tell what he's wearing because it's dark, but there's a hall light on. And in the gleam of the hall light, I can see scissors with blood on them.
Oh
my God. I I don't know what's going on. And they said, well, do you see yourself in the house?
Uh-huh.
And she goes, well, yeah, I'm in the house in the vision right now. And they go, okay, do you see yourself involved in the killing of your mother, your father, your brother? And she said, I'm not certain. I'm confused. I'm just so confused. And they said, okay. They said, well, keep going. She goes, yeah, I can see. I see it all. I see it's like I'm there. They go, now,
oh God, don't stop.
Do you think, honestly, talk to us. Do you think you were involved at all in this? And she said, I'm afraid maybe I was. I'm afraid I was there and that I did it. And they said, well, you're under arrest, bitch. That's absolutely murder.
Somebody tase me.
Somebody tase me. This is hot.
We gotcha.
It's hot action. So she's taken in. Yeah. She's done. They put her in there. She's transported
to jail.
She just put
herself at the scene with all the shit that only the murderer would know.
Only the murderer could possibly know. By the way, after her arraignment, the newspaper, this is how they chose to cover it. It's very like this is how they would cover a woman in 1976, looking dazed, her hair disheveled, and wearing the same salmon-colored coat she wore the night of her arrest. Miss Colombo was arraigned Monday morning. It's so fucking funny, man.
Solid.
So she enters the Cook County Jail. Anyway, she keeps saying that she's been threatened and she's been all this type by the cops. They all threaten her, she said, and everything like that. So DeLuca's obviously arrested as well.
Yeah.
He admitted that they had knowledge. Basically, he admitted more than she did, but still didn't go as far as confessing, basically. So he's like, I don't know. I know some things.
Yeah.
It's possible I heard a thing or I know a thing, but then there was a guy.
There's a thing and a guy and a
thing.
Like,
this fucking guy is useless, right? So they put him in jail where he immediately tells everybody he's ever met that he killed everybody in the house. He tells like 4 guys in jail: Hubert Green, Joy Hasek, Clifford X. Childs. He tells a bunch of people on the outside that he knows. Oh my God, I killed.
He's heard stories. He needs to tell everybody he's a bad guy.
That's it. Everything. It was the perfect plan. I don't know what the fuck's going on. This is goddamn ridiculous. And so DeLuca says that all he knows is that he knew a guy named Roman and that Frank Colombo he heard that Frank Colombo had taken out a murder contract on his life, and he knew this guy Roman. They were talking to him, and maybe he was gonna, maybe he would kill Frank Colombo, but maybe not. And it was all just kind of nebulous. And then I don't know, they're dead. It wasn't really my fault.
Yeah.
That's all there is. That's all he's got to say.
Okay.
Roman Sabinski gets no charges.
None.
Roman and Lanny Mitchell end up with 0 charges because it's not a real conspiracy if they never actually had any intention of doing this, which they didn't.
Clearly. 8 months, they didn't have any intention.
He did give her the murder weapon knowing
That's not good.
To me, him giving her the murder weapon knowing that she obviously has her sights set on killing her family, and then that murder weapon gets used in the killing, I go, you're getting charged with something here.
She was willing to fuck 2 strangers for them to murder her parents.
Even transfer of stolen property because he stole, even something like that. Mm-hmm. He's got to get some kind of sting. He's got to lose his job with the county at least for this, right?
Yeah.
I would think.
He walked free, huh?
Goddamn scot-free as a bird. He wanted to be tased after that because he's like, can you believe I got away with that? And same thing with Mitchell.
Really?
Yeah, same deal. Neither of them got any fucking charges. Mitchell he admitted lying to the police. Yeah. He said that, when I first told you, when I took myself in voluntary custody, he said, whatever. Then he goes, I was afraid they might think that I actually did it because if Patty says I did it and then all this, we were seen together a lot, maybe they'll believe her and maybe I did do it. That's why he went to them because he was afraid that this was going to get pinned on him.
And he just wanted 19-year-old squish.
Yeah, it's all. He's just like, I didn't want any part of this type of shit here. He goes, we posed as hitmen for 8 months. We did all that. Patty wants lower bail. Mm-hmm. She wants lower bail. She said she can't post this amount of bail.
She can't cover her rent.
Please.
What are you talking about?
Her lawyer said Miss Colombo is entitled to a reasonable bond.
Oh, get out of my
She's
life.
indigent.
Yeah.
The bond is too high. Then DeLuca's lawyer said, we should have a much better chance with Frank. If anybody deserves a bond, it's him.
Really?
Anybody. It's a murderer. A scumbag lying murder.
I can't imagine this would be this bad without you, Frank.
That's terrible. So, yeah, the detective, by the way, after putting everything together, after getting kind of hearsay from people DeLuca's talked to and also from the crime scene based on strength and all this type of shit, they figure out, well, let the Rose guy here, the detective, say it. He says that all goes to the cold-bloodedness and her ability to manipulate other people, talking about Patty. Everybody initially thought her elder, planned the whole thing, but he was manipulated by her. He was the shooter. She did all the mutilations.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he just shot them, and then she went around.
She is a bad woman.
She went around mutilating them after they were dead. I mean,
Jesus.
Michael was shot standing up. So, and it was a through and through. Right. So he's gone. His brain was gone. Yeah. He went down, and then she stabbed him 87 times, beat him with a bowling trophy.
God.
You know what I mean? This doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And Frank Colombo, same thing. He was shot 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
And then they beat him severely.
Burned him.
Cigarettes. Yeah. She's so mad.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, that's pretty wild. That's his thing there. So they're trying to get some evidence suppressed. They're trying to get some ashtrays suppressed, the photographs that were found, because they think that'll just influence the jury that she's a bit of a harlot, and that won't be good for her.
Floozy.
But yeah, all that sort of thing. But they say that's proof that she banged those guys, and that's their testimony. It makes that all corroborate. So here you go. Here's Patty doggy style with Roman Sabinsky.
I kind of want to see it.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
The prosecution opening here, he says, quote, "It's not an occurrence that took place over a 5-minute period, like a barroom brawl. It's a pre-planned, premeditated, systematic eradication of 3 people that started 8 months before the murders occurred." That sounds fucking bad.
It does.
That sounds bad. Then they went on to say Frank DeLuca did the shooting, pointing at him, and the mutilation, the stabbing, and the bludgeoning of the bodies was done by Patty. You know, the jury.
On trial together.
Oh, yeah, they're fucked here.
Boy.
So Mitchell, obviously, he's going to get, he's going to obviously testify. He has to testify. And he says, yeah, I had to come forward because it bothered me.
Yeah.
He said, I believed I could have stopped the murders.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely could have. You were like, I'll fuck her one more time, and then I'll come forward. Just one more time, though. She's pretty wild. Holy shit, man. So he did nothing to do that, obviously.
Yeah, everybody's got that person when they were single that they would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bang that one person. You're like, I shouldn't.
Why am I doing?
She's fucking
Most of the time, there's not murder involved, though. That's helpful. That's a good thing.
It's just sex.
Just sex is fine, but the murder part we can hold off on. So criminologists testify as well in this trial here, trying to link physical evidence to them, because that would help a lot. There's a handwriting specialist here who says that Miss Colombo, quote, definitely wrote the floor plans of her family home at 55 East Brantwood in a dossier. Basically, she put together a dossier for Roman and Lanny. So they
drew a floor map.
Drew a floor plan, all their activities, where they hang out, what times they come home, what kind of cars they drive. Your basic hitman dossier.
Yeah.
If you were to have someone kill, here you go. Yeah. Here's all the information. Murder the guy in the picture. Right?
Yeah.
That's what she gives them. Patty's up like a mob boss. She is dangerous.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
She's heard a story or two.
Yeah, and then they still had the dossier when they turned him in. So she was trying to say they wanted to kill the parents, and they were like, well, here's a dossier that she gave us.
Yeah.
Like the eyes are dotted with hearts. It's definitely not us writing it, so it's her. So they have that. They bring that. They really parade that around the courtroom, saying, oh, look what she wrote down, and blah, blah, blah. The handwriting expert says that that's definitely her. Another guy said that another expert, a strand of brown hair recovered from the body of Mary Colombo and a 13 and Michael also were 99.9% similar to Patty's hair. Okay. Now that is just comparing the hair, so that could be
shaft.
That could, that's there's no DNA involved in that. They found that to be not very accurate back then, but similar hairs. But the main thing they found, which was really kind of tying them all together, was they rented a car to do this. Okay, they rented a car and they stole the Thunderbird, dumped that, did all that shit. But they rented a car so that a familiar car wouldn't be seen in front of the house, obviously. Yeah. So during all this, when they walked around in the shag with all this broken glass, some of it got in their shoes.
Oh.
As glass will do. Yeah. Now, what they did was they got into the car, and that's some 70s shag carpeting in the car as well.
Thick shit.
Returned the rental car. Rental car companies aren't going to clean it thoroughly. If there's no puke in it, they're not cleaning it. So what they did is they still hadn't cleaned it yet by the time the cops recovered it, and they were able to vacuum it out and find glass that matched up to the Colombo residence.
That's a dagger.
That's tough. Yeah, how do you explain that one? That's explain that shit away, and you can't. So that's difficult. And they were also talking about the fact that Patty and Frank must have come back on several occasions with dead bodies there in a 97-degree putrid, disgusting fucking house to look for more shit. Wow. Basically, yeah.
And then they took the phone off the hook,
Then they took the phone off the hook. It must have been ringing or something. They were like, oh, shit, what if people call and then no one answers? They're going to go, where the fuck are the Colombos? If they're busy, they must be on the phone. Right. Every time I call, they're on the phone.
Take it off the hook. If somebody dials this number, they will hang up right away.
That's it. Oh, trust me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, good God.
That noise is awful.
It's the fucking worst. So they said that the odds of a similarity between the hairs taken would be 4,500 to 1, and they said the glass is a dead match. It's just a match. Period. Done.
Those lamps are very specific, and
it's different colors at all. It couldn't be a coincidence. Impossible. Then out of the funniest part of it all, DeLuca's wife testifies.
Oh shit!
Can you imagine?
Oh, she loves this day.
Fucking glee she strutted to the stand with and went, well, this little whore right here, I'll tell you all about her. Okay, and she oh. This scumbag, asshole, lying piece of shit, terrible father over here. Let's talk about him.
And the anger that now he has left me alone with 5 fucking children.
He's not going to pay for shit now. He's in there. So the prosecution ends up, resting here. They said that the prosecution ended up saying to the press, it's not like trying one case, it's like trying 6 cases because there's so many people. There's 3 dead bodies, there's 2 murderers, there's a couple other guys who are, would-be hitmen. There's all sorts of a mess going on here. So, Jesus Christ. So, her defense, is to say there's no eyewitnesses. Okay. There's no physical evidence, there's no blood on them. The glasses, the hairs, that could be, one or the other you could dismiss, but both is tough. That's the problem. With both, it's very difficult. The more circumstantial evidence you pile up, the less chance it could be the less chance it's coincidental. Right. Circumstantial can be very coincidental until you get a lot of circumstantial.
Right.
And
on
then
its face, it doesn't look good, but whatever. But several is
it's starting
not good
to tie
at all.
You in a lot. Yeah, and especially with guys who said, oh, yeah, we fucked her. She said she was going to do it. I gave her the gun. Here's where it came from. The evidence is a lot. But they said, they tried to frame it, the defense. They said the only substantial piece of evidence that the state presented was Miss Colombo's vision statement. Yeah. It means who among us hasn't had a vision where you kill your parents? You know what I mean? They said this reveals nothing more than pure conjecture. It's reasonable to say this evidence is inconclusive.
Wow.
I think I've done my job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it for that. So
shadows of doubt everywhere.
So with his hands, and he sat down. Done. Mic drop. And so this was at about 11 o'clock. The jury goes in. Yeah. About 2, they eat some lunch. They come back out, and they're like, we got a verdict. We're good. And they are both found guilty. Guilty as fuck.
Yeah.
There, both of them. Now at sentencing, they're both standing there, and this is when you have your chance to try to... Now, for her, this is cold. She killed her parents. She killed her little brother.
Well, I mean, she didn't kill.
Well,
she fucked up dead bodies of her family.
DeLuca also, this looks terrible. He looks like a disgusting, horny maniac.
Yeah.
So this looks terrible. The sentencing, you really got to come around and come through with a strong sense of remorse. Yeah. And, all you want to do is make people feel better about this whole thing. She takes another path. Patty chooses another path. Yeah. Patty says this is wild. This is one of the best this is one of the best fuck-ups in open court that anyone's ever done.
Absolute blunder?
Just a complete Freudian slip here.
What's the daisy?
Here we go. They said, anything to say for yourself, Patricia? She says, there is one thing the court cannot take away from me. Judge is like, oh, really? I'd love Got a little closer.
Is it there?
Please, I'd love to hear what it is I can't do. She said, and that is that my father and my mother and my baby brother know that wasn't us in the house that night or morning or whenever it was. And that's all that matters. Everyone in court went,
oh, looks like we got a time frame.
Everybody went, it was a collective gasp.
What
that
did you just say?
Wasn't there in the house that night and paused, or that morning, or whatever it was, that only the true murderer could know, which I'm not, so I don't. Somebody tase me. Oh, God. So,
what a dummy.
And that's all that matters. And the judge is like, wow, this is amazing. You're an asshole.
Guess what I can't take from you? Everything.
This is fun. DeLuca, what do you have to say for yourself? Maybe it's better.
Can you give us an exact time?
So he comes up and he's like, oh, God, I've thrown it all away for a young ass. Whatever's wrong with me. Oh, my God. And he says, quote, Patricia and I are innocent. I will stand on my testimony because it's the truth. And he's done.
That's all I've got.
I'm not gonna poke the bear any more than that here. So for this, you, sir and ma'am, may fuck off. Okay, they are sentenced to. They each are sentenced to 200 to 300 years, and somewhere in there, we'll give you the thing here. Patricia receives 25 to 50 years extra for solicitation of murder. Okay. DeLuca gets 10 to 50 years extra. So it's 10 to 20 for him, 20 to 50 or 10 to 50 for him, 20 to 50 for her. So it all adds up to about 300 years or 200 years and change apiece.
And she had to fuck two strangers for 8 months.
For 8 months.
What's the lesson?
And they're both kind of, one's a used car salesman and the other's a civil servant. He's a real dirtbag looking guy too. He looks like a guy you'd find in a dirty bar who would kill your parents. That's what he looks like. Would you want to fuck him, everybody? Probably not. So Patty really screwed the pooch on this one.
Two of them.
Two of them.
She screwed the mice.
We're not sure about the poodle. So either way, she goes to jail. By the way, when you're in apparently 300 years in the 80s in the state of Illinois translates to you are up for parole in 12 years. What? I don't know how that works.
That math is crazy.
You're up for parole in 5% of your time. That's what that seems like. It seems a little light for murder, but we'll talk about all that. Now, Patty goes to prison. She's in prison for about 2 years. Okay? 2 years in prison, and oh God, this Patty. Oh, she's such a party. I'm so upset she's in prison. She could have done so much for the world. She is accused while in prison of organizing sex parties by procuring attractive female inmates for two high-ranking prison officials and having like a dating service.
She wasn't even fucking him. She was getting other girls to do it.
She was Heidi Fleissing this shit. She was Cell Block D Madam. The Madam of Cell Block D is what she is. How crazy is that? She was just arranging all this.
I'm beginning to think that Patty realizes that she's hot as fuck.
She notices, I think. Something tells me she notices. So it was such a scandal in the prison system that Patty gets nothing. She doesn't get in trouble at all because they're so fucking embarrassed by the whole thing. They just don't want a public trial about it. They quietly suspend the two officials and pretend like it never happened. It's awesome. Hilarious. She goes on, though, to take college courses offered by Northern Illinois University. She's working on an Associate of Arts degree. So I can't believe she's organizing sex parties. That's amazing. So 1991, Patty becomes the first female inmate in Illinois, in the state of Illinois, to complete her entire college education while imprisoned.
Wow.
Which is pretty... I mean, that's...
she should.
She's the first.
She's of the age that should do it.
Why not? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can fuck your way into a diploma, but she probably tried. So now paroles, they start getting parole hearings in like the late 80s, like early 90s, okay? And they go back every couple years, And they never get parole because, I mean, they've been the details of this case are brutal.
Oh, God.
This isn't like, I don't know, we robbed a gas station, somebody got scared and squeezed the trigger, and we shouldn't have been. This is you went in and systematically destroyed your family. This
the
is
parole
crazy.
board gets the whole case file. They know everything.
They know everything.
That happened.
Well, then they prepare parole reports, too, on everything. I mean, they have deeper shit than anything. I love getting a hold of a parole report. Holy fuck, you get it all. You get all the witness statements. They get everything. So during this parole strategy in 2001-ish, she decides to take a whole new strategy to the parole. She's been trying to say, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, and they've been wrongly imprisoned. That's not working. No. So she decides to say, my godfather sexually abused me for 6 years.
Wow. That's not going to do it.
She said, so I killed my family.
Right.
And so I should get out.
Clearly.
Because of that. And they were like, I don't understand.
That's not in the book here.
Yeah, I don't understand how but you killed your little brother. Right. Your parents are one thing. Yeah. That's the thing. If it's just her parents, we don't know what goes on in relationships with adults and all that sort of thing, and maybe there's bitterness and all that. There is no excuse on the face of the goddamn earth to kill your 13-year-old fucking little brother. None.
Especially
that ends it
with that kind of just
vitriol,
savage beating.
You can't come back from that. Like, no matter what happened to you, that's ridiculous. Right. You can't do that. And to me, it just all sympathy that could possibly be for you is lost. You know what I mean? It's like when you look at like the Jeffrey Dahmer story and you're like, oh, that's sad. His mom left and he's kept him there alone. Then once he starts murdering people, you're like, doesn't matter anymore.
Right. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. That's it. My sympathy is gone, and now I think you're an asshole.
Was the 13-year-old there with pom-poms cheering on your godfather?
That's what I mean.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, where was he involved in this? He was probably a baby when this was going on, and we don't even know if it's true.
Right.
This is the first time she's ever said this, which, I mean, maybe this is the first time she's been able to say it.
To process that.
It's
hard to say those words.
Might have done therapy in prison and all that, but either way they go, that really doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you fucking brutalized your family. She said to the press afterwards she was upset that they denied her parole and said, it's a set pattern. My case was riddled with sexuality through the whole thing. Yeah, because you offered sex for murder. That's going to weave itself right into the fabric of the case at that point.
That's the part that makes it crazy.
Yeah. She's trying to say that, like, that she got extra because of the sexuality of it, but I don't know, man. I mean, I wasn't around in the 70s, so I don't know what the mores were then, but I can't imagine you wouldn't be more offended by the crime scene photographs of a 13-year-old boy with 87 stab wounds and his skull crushed in and a fucking bullet hole in his forehead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that would probably be the thing that would piss you off more than...
That weighs heavily.
And she's having premarital sex, just for me, anyway. That's how I would take it.
It's the part that makes it funny, Patty. It's not the part that makes it fucking...
Makes it worse.
Nobody's rubbing stank on it for it. It makes it funny as shit.
Fuck yeah. The detective Rose says he's at the parole board hearings every time, and he prepares his testimony and reviews the file every time and makes sure to give all the really nasty details of it now. Now, Frank DeLuca in prison, he is sent to the Vixen Correctional Center in October of 1977 to serve out his sentence. After the year 1986, he from then on had 0 disciplinary infractions or even tickets.
Are you telling me he goes along and does what he's told really well?
Goes along to get along. He really does. He's just like, I'll go along with it. I don't care.
Whatever I need to do.
And in a parole hearing in May of 2014, DeLuca told the Illinois Prisoner Review Board that he had no expectation of ever being paroled and that what he and Patty did was, quote, horrendous, and that they should never be allowed to leave prison. Yeah. That was what Frank said, which, by the way, if you're looking to get parole, that's exactly what you say to get parole. Yeah. What I did was so horrible. Every day I feel terrible about it, and
I deserve to be.
You shouldn't let me out. Right. And then they'll go, you should let him out. That's how it works. So they said, it's exactly what they said, and at the time, the parole board noted that he's in poor health because, Christ, he's, another 40 years on? He's in his 70s, yeah. So they said he's in poor health. He has hip and prostate problems. He walks with a cane. Probably not going to be murdering many more people. Yeah. So they said, all of that. But due to the heinous nature of the crime, you can keep fucking yourself. Take your swollen prostate back to the cell block, Chief. How about that? What do you say?
Jam that cane in there to loosen up your prostate.
You just really get it in there. It's like an old bottle of ketchup, like a glass bottle. You get a butter knife in there, ting back and forth. You'll clear it out.
Like a loose door lock. Jiggle the key, motherfucker.
It'll come pouring out after that. Don't you worry. So they said to parole him would depreciate the seriousness of the defense and promote disrespect for the law. So go fuck yourself, Frank DeLuca.
Oh, wow.
Now, what about her here, Patty? While incarcerated, not only did she get her degree, Frank didn't do any of this shit. He just didn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Patty's been like actively building a resume in there.
Yeah.
But she's not saying, I'm a terrible person, you shouldn't let me out, which is what Frank is doing.
She's saying, I'm a great person, look all this good shit.
Look at all this good shit. Ignore anything pre-1980. Must we really at that point?
Yeah.
Post-sex scandal with the guards. Let's start concentrate on that. She worked as a clerk and a programmer for the Leisure Time Services and Family Services programs, and a secretary, this is in the prison obviously, and a secretary in the placement office, and also helped to develop the prison media center as well.
Yeah.
So Patty has done all this stuff. She, as in addition to that, by the way, she likes to be called Trisha now.
Sure. Yeah,
she doesn't want to be Patty.
Yeah.
I'm different. I'm Trisha.
Yeah.
She maintained a group of supporters who would submit letters speaking on her behalf, on behalf of her good works in the prison, family members of people she's helping, things like that. She'd bring it to all the parole hearings. In 2011, parole hearing coming up, she was accepted at Leslie's Place, which is a transitional house on the west side of Chicago that houses and helps former female inmates navigate their way back into society.
Yeah.
If she had been paroled from there, she would have been basically, this would have been about 2.5 miles from where they found the Thunderbird in the beginning of the story. That's where this was, which is pretty fucking weird, right? So in 2013 or 14, the Dwight Correctional Center was closing. Patty was moved to the Lincoln Correctional Center, then to the Logan Correctional Center. In 2014, she said, you know what? I'm doing like some stuff here that I'm helping people, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on parole this year. You can just have the meeting without me because
I'm busy.
I don't want to leave the special needs inmates I'm working with right now.
They need me.
They need the special needs and really very big needs, and they need me right now. So rather than me be selfish and go there and ruin their progress, because me going to a parole hearing for a day would destroy everything I've built with these people. They could never, they were reading and writing, that'll all go away. So rather than that, you keep it this year, and I'll just go to another time because these people are important to me.
Yeah.
So that's what she said. The continuance was denied. They made her come to the parole hearing, and then they fucking denied her parole too. Which is hilarious to me.
She is manipulative as fuck.
Oh, yeah. She's super manipulative.
Shit.
Yeah, she's
diabolical.
She plays a long game, too. She started this in like 2003.
Yeah.
She's like, 12 years from now, I know it'll sound good. She's good.
I've fucked guys for 8 months planning a murder. I will pretend shit for years.
Imagine if you put all this into business. She'd be a
CEO, man.
Oh, she'd be crushing it right now. She'd have her own thing going on. If Patty was 19 now, imagine what she'd be able to do on the internet. She would.
Oh my God.
She'd be Anna Delvey plus like the biggest person on OnlyFans. She'd have like all these different things going on, scams and
0.01%.
Holy shit. She'd be crushing it right now. So, they said, that would depreciate the blah, 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 blah. So she's still in there. She remains incarcerated. She is at the Logan Correctional Center. She will be basically without parole, unless she gets paroled, obviously. Her actual release date is 21/16.
Oh, my God.
Don't think she's going to make it quite that far.
I think so.
She's in her 60s now.
140 years old?
Probably not going to happen.
150? Jesus.
Almost more than that. I think 175, really, almost. So that's a lot. So she continues to insist that she's changed and she should really be let out. They have, by the way, Patty Colombo and Frank DeLuca have not seen nor spoken with each other since 1977. So Frank's like, why did I do any of this? Holy shit. What a fucking idiot he is. He is an idiot. Now, there was a book written about this by Clark Howard, and his book, it's called Love's Blood, which is a gross name for a book. And this book, they get real into like a lot of the sexual stuff.
Really?
Like deep into like.
Because that's so fascinating.
And then Patty's like stories of how she was molested too. Like this book is like dirty. It's a dirty murder book. If you're
Love's blood. Mostly love.
Love's blood.
So much love in this book.
Love. Oh my God. So it's weird, man. It's a weird book. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't recommend the book. I think we told the story how it needs to be told, but here, if you're really interested in it, you can read this book. Now, Patty, my God, the final word from Patty.
Yeah.
She told a reporter after she was denied parole.
Yeah.
This is some balls here to say this, I got to say. They said, Patty, how do you feel about all this? What's going on? And she said, quote, "My life was a bed of roses, but Daddy didn't tell me about the thorns."
Really?
You killed your daddy. How the fuck could he tell you about anything? Maybe he would have. Maybe he was planning on it.
If you'd have stayed free for a while, a little band called Poison would have told you all about him.
Every single fucking rose, Patty. A whole bed of them. What the fuck do you expect? Do you know that every night has its dawn, too? Have you heard of that? Because that's part of it also.
She referenced a Bon Jovi song and a Poison song.
Yeah. She's into it, man.
She would have thrived in the 80s.
She really would have. I'm telling you. Big hair, Camaro. She would have been the shit in the 80s. So, anyway, Patty's still in prison, as is Frank DeLuca.
Man.
Frank DeLuca, by the way, looks terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
I have all these mugshots of him over the years, and he starts off and he's shrinking. In every mugshot, he's lower down. And the last one, he has suspenders on now, which means his body is falling apart to where he has no more ass anymore, and he can't keep his pants up, so he's got to have suspenders. It's a mess.
Prison suspenders.
It's bad. Yeah, he looks just turned into he looks like Herbert from Family Guy now. He turned into a perverted child molester out of nowhere. You're like, ew.
Prison will make you go from murderer to pedophile.
Oh, get it? Yeah, look at that. Oh, God. I liked him better when he was a murderer. Jesus Christ. And Patty looks like she's gotten very, now she has very short hair. Patty looks like she works in the office at a high school. That's what she looks like.
That's not good.
No, she looks like one of those ladies who's like, I will call your mother. Very much, she'll call your mother tomorrow. Yeah, somewhere there is a manager just waiting to be called, and Patty's not showing up to have him called. That's what it feels like to me.
Hilarious.
So anyway, there you go, everybody. That is Elk Grove, Illinois. And if you can imagine, if you listen to the show, if you can imagine it with all sorts of pictures where you can see all these people and see everything, the locations, the houses, that's a live show, by the way.
Amazing.
So you can see a virtual live show. Like we said, it's probably available for a couple more days if you're listening to this right when it comes out. It was available on the 27th of October. Or come to a regular live show and see a crazy story like this with all the pictures and tons of jokes with pictures too. We have a lot of fun with that shit.
Sure do.
So the visuals. So do all of that and come out and see us. Thank you for doing that. If you like it, enjoy the show, do us a favor and get on whatever app you're on. Doesn't matter where they all have ways to rate and review. Rate and review. Give us 5 stars. Say something nice. It's not for our egos. No. We don't want to read it and go, oh, good, people like us. That's nice, and we're happy about it.
Fantastic.
But it helps drive you up the charts. It really helps the show along and helps the business side of it. So thank you for doing that if you have done that or if you're planning on it too. Thank you very much. In the future. Follow us on social media. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Keep up with all the latest stuff. Everything from when live shows are coming out to new shows when they're posted to new merch that we put out. Everything you get there. And just some fun stuff too.
You need not fuck the both of us.
You don't have to fuck either of us. We promise. As a matter of fact, we won't allow you to even if you wanted to. So we won't make you, nor will we allow you. It's either way. This is a non-sexual relationship, everybody. Jimmie and James, your non-sexual friends. That's us.
That's our business card.
Think about it. Think of us as your non-sexual pals. James and Jimmie, the non-sexual podcast pals. That's us.
So good.
That's us, man. Next company name we need. That's going to be it. Non-sexual podcast pals.
LLC.
LLC. So over that to you guys. Thank you so much. So otherwise, also head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. There's tons of merchandise there, all sorts of shit. We put out new stuff all the time. So do that. Also, you can get your tickets to live shows, the virtual live show, Halloween Spectacular. Like we said, from October 27th on, it's available for 7 days. So get your tickets, get in there. We have so much fun with that shit, all the visuals and everything like that. Also, you can do, like we said, tickets on the site, tons of tickets. And we're coming out with,
it's coming so soon.
In November, probably right before Thanksgiving, we are going to announce and put on sale the full slate of 2023 shows.
God damn it,
we know where we're going.
James.
That's right, tease me. We know where we're going, and it's a few new places and a couple places we didn't get to hit on the last tour, even there's a couple places we haven't been since 2019.
Right.
Like, I think we're going back to St. Louis, I believe. Places like that. Coming back to Denver. We did them in the 2020 tour.
Right.
They were just at the beginning before it all got fucked up. Back to Denver, back to places like that. Cleveland, we're coming back. Yeah. Cleveland bar in my hotel room in case it doesn't go well. That'll be there. So some of these places we haven't been in a while will definitely be there. And I know there's a couple that I can't think. Charlotte we're coming back to. Coming back to that comedy festival. That's going to be fun. Charlotte we're going to do.
Still doing that. That's great.
It was the Queen City, I think it was. That was
Such
they
a
treated
great
us so well.
Yeah.
Great theater there. All sorts of cool places we're
back
going.
in Atlanta, of course.
Of course, back at the Buckhead, Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, obviously. Chicago, too. We got a big venue this time.
God,
you guys are
so daunting.
We're going to blow this bad
awesome.
boy out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for doing that. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all of that stuff and more and all the information. And if you want to follow Jimmie or myself on social media, the links are all there to do all that shit. Patreon is where you want to be. Holy shit, it's good this week. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get all the bonus material and everything else. By the way, there's a whole back catalog there. It's like 150 episodes to binge. So lots of good stuff. If for your initial $5, you're going to get an overwhelming amount of content. And then every other week, you're going to get 2 new episodes. One Small Town Murder, one Crime and Sports. You're going to get access to both of them. This week for Crime and Sports, what we're going to talk about is Len Bias. If you don't know who Len Bias is, if you're younger or older, I don't know. But if you didn't grow up in the 80s, if you grew up in the 80s, every teacher you ever had said the word Len Bias to you at some point to get you to not do cocaine. Right. That was how it worked. Because Len Bias was the #1 overall draft pick in college. He's surefire, can't miss, next big Michael Jordan level star in 1986. And the literal day he was drafted, that night he went out, partied, and had a cocaine-induced heart attack.
Oh, no.
And died.
Team's still on your shoulders, Larry.
Fuck, yeah. The Celtics had drafted. Between him and then Reggie Lewis a few years later, they really had terrible fucking luck with healthy young men dropping dead as soon as the Celtics had their claws on them. What did they do?
Jesus.
What kind of karmic thing did they do to win all those titles in the 60s and then win in the 80s?
You got 11 with Bill Russell.
Wow.
You're gonna suffer sometime.
But is it like a deal with the devil? Like, what the fuck, man?
Maybe Bill Russell did it.
Maybe. So take this cocaine, and he shoved it up his nose. Then for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about, very interesting, the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix special. We're going to talk about the difference between the special and real life. Yeah. Because it's done so well, the special, cinematically, the acting's very good, to the point where that becomes the record. Right. It's almost like anybody who's like me or Jimmie's age, picture Jim Morrison in your head right now. Yeah. Who do you picture?
Val Kilmer.
Thank you.
He's
Every
so handsome.
person pictures the cover of The Doors with Val Kilmer. That's Jim Morrison to us because he was so Jim Morrison.
Right.
This is the same thing. But what they did in that was fine, but they definitely cheated some things, made different people into other people, combined characters, made a protagonist that didn't exist. There's a lot of crazy shit they did, and we'll talk all about it because the real story is honestly crazier than you can put into a show.
But it doesn't fit in that script and narrative, and you gotta have somebody to root for.
That's the problem, is they needed to. We'll talk all about it. Never mind. Patreon. See, we get right into it now. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get the rest of that conversation and a shitload more. Put your shoes on. Let's get rolling, I think we said too, which isn't good. So that said, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that very much.
What else do you get?
Patreon.com/crime and sports. And
yes,
in addition to that, you are, of course, going to get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmie will mispronounce your name. Most likely, if it's Italian or Eastern European, especially, he'll absolutely butcher
it. In there, I'll brutalize
he's going to try so fucking hard, though, because he really wants it bad. And you get that also. As a matter of fact, you're going to get that right now.
Yeah.
Jimmie, hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever, ever have sex with two dirtbags for 8 months just on the prospect of having us killed. Tell us who our favorite hetero podcast people are. Whatever, put non-sexual podcast partners. Tell us who they are. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Franny Hitsky in Australia, Jordan Bennett in Canada, Lisa Yuknavage.
Nice. Nicely done.
She's a wonderful woman. And,
thank you.
And Gundel. Happy birthday, Gundel. I think it's Gundel. I think it's Gundel. I don't know. Gundel.
Happy birthday, goddamn.
Happy birthday. Other producers this week are beautiful mother Jefferson, the limo driver asking Rocky for the plate number of the truck that ran over his face, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, the guy who looks like Bubbles from The Wire, Barry, Myron, and Ira, and also all of the Fartstein family.
Oh, the wonderful Fartsteins.
They're wonderful. Finn and Adam's mother, Chrissy. Happy birthday, Chrissy. Whiskey, Tequila, and Eros at Centeno Kennels in Ontario, Canada. Maury Kessler, Kaylin Bancroft. Happy hour checking in Roosevelt, Utah. Janice Hill, Larry Butterfast, Tasha Posada, Frankie Brown, Angela Davis, Erica Tilley, Liz Colson, Jill Reiser, Hayden Breedlove, Blake Hux, I think, Nathan Bennett, Christina Flaherty, Benjamin with no last name, John Pontius, Yakuza Grande,
hey,
Ben Stutzman, Christine and Patrick Hedgecock, NEIMCS, I think, Nina Buckley S, Mateo De La Vega, Kenneth Chandler, Riley Parkinson, Philip Maniscalchi, Neck Medu, what? What are you trying to make me say that I can't read? Jensen and Adam, Jonathan Martin, The Hungry Honky, Jean Jarka, Sunshine with no last name, Pink Noir, Darlene S., Erica Hackney, Delaney Kubiak, Rachel with no last name. Nope, that's Rochelle. No, I don't know what it is. Jessica Stern, Kelly Kahn, Tyler Font, Jimmy Roach, Megan Ruffalo, probably Mark's sister or daughter or wife. Somebody in his family. Diablo Orphan, Sule with no last name, Odie Young, Kyle Phillips, Pat with no last name, Jamie Laws, Vanessa Hutner, VW, Fox Chronicles, Sonny Cornelius, Sean Schmitz, Call Me Tiggs, Amber Gwynn, Joanna with no last name, or possibly Johanna, Summer Mink, Stephanie Johnson, Pablo Suarez Jr., Lorena, Leben Guth, Fancy Nancy, Bo S., Larry Ketterman Jr., Big D Story, Jane Pillsbury, Edward Jerez, Felicia Prior, Ashley Giggly.
Googly Giggly family. They're very prominent in the
Gigliotti.
New England area. There you go.
Tracy Bunch, Rachel Little, Luis FDT. What is that? Brandon Hill. It's just Hill. Joanne Richardson, Matt Powlick, Jennifer Cahill, Carrie Passaretta, Holly Patterson, Dr. Waffles Wiener Wagon.
What is that? That's a good one. The Wiener Wagon. I'm always up for a stop on a Wiener Wagon.
Dr. Waffles. Graham Larson, Destiny Hogan, Sean with no last name, April Mlodinia, Gregory Busby, Ryan Bexford, Dr. Foolin' You, James Emeston, Lori Decatur, Christopher Knowles, Matthew Wool.
By the way, if you try to stick like a political message in your thing, we won't fucking read that.
Fuck that, man.
We won't read that. This is for fun, and you're not going to be the asshole that ruins it.
I'm not trying to ruin shit.
No, don't be the ass.
And
not
I'll
you.
see
them, I mean.
through you. I'm dumb.
Don't be that asshole.
But I'll
don't
beat you.
Person.
I'll beat you.
Yeah.
Verity Benwell, Scott Bulin, Brandon Price, Nicole. What is this? Joe LeCure. Not true. Not right. I promise that's wrong. Blake Bedwell, TB with no last name. Joanna Betchardard. Bichard, Emily with no last name, Nikki Kimball, Jeremy Peterson, Karen Wage, Liv Gwynn, Katie Carlson, James Chambers, Walter Daniels, Quintino with no last name, Ian Arsenault, Megan with no last name, Emmett 2713, Mon Bon, Sean with no last name, Lisa Pokriku, Kirk Aguirre, maybe? Derek Adams, Rick Bittner, Kyle Yuszak, Gabrielle Eichert, Star G, Beck Smith, Tina Guthrie, Thomas Shirley, Kimberly Washyoon, Jonathan.
Bend over and wash it. Your Cunes are filthy, all of you.
Jonathan with no last name, Brianna Knight, Kelly Locke, Andrew Gleason, Rachgers, Ailey Cooper, Jared Woosley, Stephanie Huggins, Steve Brown, Scott with no last name, Anna Watson, Christina Hoffman, Vanessa Wilson, Dustin Fisher, Stephanie Canna-Jayas, Ryan Lamberdigan.
Lamborghini? What was that?
Lamberding. Kim Robinson, Danielle with no last name, Bill Holt, Clayton Maring, Susan Cherry, yes, Johnny Boldrick, Boldrick, yes, Kate M., Randy Gallup, Rachel Martin, Shelby Estens, Jamie Mitchell, Joshua Shelton, Bridget Burton, Terry Eckert, Matthew, nope, that's Meredith, McClure, Catherine, Caitlin, Barchik, Cathcart, Megan with no last name, Jasmine, Andes, Cody, Barjack.
This is falling apart now.
Darren Koch, Tammy with no last name, Christy Graham, Elizabeth Lau, Brian with no last name, Annalise Jones, Asher Hirschberg, Angela Guerra, David with no last name, Alexandria with no last name, Taylor Mullen, Rachel with no last name, Susan Conrad, Rachel, nope, that's Sarah Rachel, Jesse with no last name, Zach Robertson, Alan Huggins, Andy Bell, Garrett Jones, Shark Bait, Joe MB, Michelle Din, Cynthia Daniels, Jen Parado, Megan Staniford, and Caitlin Peterson, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, you crazy, wonderful, awesome, amazing people.
You're truly incredible.
We fucking appreciate all that you do for us. We really do. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you for everything, and thanks for changing our lives for the better, always.
Thanks for being a part of this from the start. It's awesome.
We really do appreciate that, and to show that our appreciation, all we can do is keep coming back over and over again. Make sure to listen to Express, obviously, on Fridays, and Crime and Sports for the rest of the run, and then we're having a new show come out you can listen to. But until then... And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.